Yeah.
I think that's how that works. Let me look into specifically let me see. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so quick rule overview. Just to kind of recap right here. Every draft pick that they have does include shadows. Genesect, when it's picked, can be any version of Genesect. Any move is fair game. In each set of 4 battles versus 1 opponent, only one version of each mon may be brought, so no changing between matches. So like in the instance of you could bring a Mewtwo in one match, but you can't change to Shadow Mewtwo mid set or vice versa, but between opponents is fine. And then it's 2 points for a decisive win, which is 3 or 4 out of 4. 1 point for a tie, which is 2 wins. 2 wins plus a tied match counts for 2 points, and then 2 wins in a tie also counts for 2 points. Okay, I think this makes sense. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I was more focused on the matchups as opposed to the rules specifically, but doesn't change the fact that we still got some great games lined up here
Yep.
today. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of these
These
matchups
are
here.
going to be excellent.
Yeah, I've actually played a decent amount of these players on the GBL ladder. I think 3 of them seem very familiar to me, and they're all very very qualified
Yeah, I've
battlers that
played a
are
few of these
using.
too.
They're using some picks that we all know and love, and then there's a few others that are on the roster themselves that are not. They're a little bit farther down just because of the nature of the way a draft works, but we're actually going to see in some of these that they actually end up being pretty potent matchups. And what is that? Super Cavitation says, "What was that? Master League Specialist Olivero?" It sure is. It sure
Yes, it
is.
is. All
And
right.
we have our first matchup today, which is actually it does not match up. Oh no, wait, yeah, it does with my notes specifically. I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and start with your notes specifically what you have for this matchup because I've got a fair amount lined up here too.
All right. So, for looking at this first matchup, one of the big things I wanted to note is that Cabana has a really nice advantage with Togekiss because everything on his team, everything like nothing besides not Yveltal. I mean, Genesect and Regirock really they don't really like Togekiss with shields,
Yeah, the
and
notes I have for Togekiss here are this with Melodic are actually going to be
mhm,
a pretty difficult pair for Stefan to break because
yeah, like
Togekiss
this core is really good.
ends up being good against Terrakion. I I forget specifically how well it works against Lugia, but it does resist Dragon Tail, so it is worth
Mhm,
merit, which shields up. Chomp is just completely free game.
yeah,
And Kyurem is something I'd be curious to look at in the Matrix
I
because I'm
think
not
it's
familiar with Kyurem's performance in
I
general,
think if
but
Togekiss has a shield, it's good. It wins.
yeah, I think Togekiss kind of trucks through this one too. But as you can see,
Yeah, like
Togekiss has the majority of the matchups in its hand. I think
mhm,
really the only tough customers here are gonna be possibly a Terrakion with shield advantage or Regirock or yeah, I think straight Regirock and then straight Genesect are gonna be the 2
mhm,
problems for it. Um Going off of the Togekiss melodic notes that I had earlier, Waterfall melodic looks really nice against everything but Kyurem. It ends up being Diet Kyogre in this matchup, but as you can see with the 2 rock types, and it's gonna work pretty well against. Let me see. Yeah, pretty much everything but Kyurem Waterfall has play on, so I do like it.
mhm.
Which Genesect drive is being used?
I
I think we'll actually find that out when we look at the VOD.
Yes.
I'm under the impression that Shock would be the best here
Mhm.
since it hits Togekiss and Melodic, but that's for our battler to dictate.
Yes.
They're making it double blind for us in the sense that we know just as much as you guys going into it, so we'll be able to adjust our analysis based on as it goes. But the rules say that Stefan can choose any form of Genesect that he wants to. He just can't change it mid round. So the drive that he picks for this matchup, he has to play it for the entire matchup. But if he decides, okay, you know what, Burn Drive ends up being better against my next opponent, he can just swap that one. Oh, you know what? Let me turn that off. I realized that was going to be an issue. Okay,
Alright, well,
I'm good to go. And
alright.
let me see what else you got because
Okay,
I
so one of the big
talked a lot
things I
about
had for, looking at Stefan's team is I think for Stefan's team, one of the big things is like Registeel is gonna be huge, and like Lugia, like the big team that I think he's gonna use is Lugia, Garchomp, Zarude because he needs to have. I mean, looking at it now, like he needs to have a Togekiss counter for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like he needs to at least carry like either Regirock or Lugia because Lugia is neutral for the most part, but like it's not amazing.
Yeah, what I've got on here for Lugia is that it looks pretty potent against the team as a whole. I think Raikou is really only the hardest check here.
Mhm.
Zarude is going to need a couple of shields for sky attacks, and Zekrom is going to need shield advantage unless for whatever reason it's running Charge Beam. But I actually don't really think that tips it that much in its favor because Dragon Tail chunks.
Mhm.
Lugia, I think, is going to be pretty fine anywhere on the team. There's not immediately too many hard punishes on the other side or anything too discouraging to run
Yeah.
it. It's going to be a great pivot in terms of what he wants to sandwich it. I could actually see Melodic Double Flyer in whatever order he wants to go for here. Notes that I also have for Genesect. Let me see. So I can just completely run down mine. For Genesect, Shock looks really good against Togekiss and Melodic, and we could actually see it get some play here. The only problem here is if it's running Steel Electric coverage, then Raikou could actually be a little bit more valuable against that and Lugia as well.
Mhm.
Stefan's Garchomp, Togekiss, Dragon Tail, Melodic, and Zekrom make it a little bit questionable, but it's one of the only hard Raikou checks. But outside of that, like Raikou does okay, and it's still kind of glassy too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Melodic.
is just iffy. Like I feel like one of the big things is I feel like Double
Oh, I'm
Dragon might
sorry. Did I say
actually be
double
pretty
flyer?
cool.
I mixed up the two. Why did I say double flyer? I
Yeah,
might have
yeah.
gotten.
I think you said Double
I
Fire or Flyer.
yeah. I got
That
something
happens.
crisscrossed here. I was thinking Lugia on one
But yeah,
team. I
I
was thinking
definitely
Lugia.
think that it's gonna be huge.
Why do I have this mixed up? You know what? I wrote something on somebody's team wrong. Wow.
Like what else
Okay.
do I what else do we have?
That yeah.
So one of the big
Uh
things is like Machamp and Zarude could work together with Cabana to actually help with Togekiss's weakness with Genesect and Regirock, given that they actually have shields. Because like I mean, looking at Regirock, I feel like it's definitely gonna be a problem because it looks really fun.
we could pretend Zekrom is a flyer. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
uh-huh.
Chad. I apologize for that one.
If it has wings, it's good
Notes
enough.
notes that I have for Zarude. This thing is actually gonna dance on a lot of the team. Regirock, Terrakion, Lugia, and Chomp all need to look out for it. Neutral at best matchups, but it does lose pretty hard to
Mhm.
Genesect and Kyurem. The double rock ends up being a little bit of a disadvantage for Stefan here, as Cabana actually does have a lot to exploit it. But I think in regards to that, we've kind of danced a lot around the mons that we have here. And I think one interesting thing that we could probably bring up here, I wrote down projected round winners. I'm not sure if you did too.
Yeah,
Um,
I did the same.
okay, let's see who you got. Let's see who you got money on for this one to win.
I feel like Cabana's gonna win this one. Like
I'm
because I just think Togekiss is super strong here. I mean, personal bias, but like Togekiss is just gonna be super strong.
yeah. Togekiss looks really strong. I don't hate Melodic here either.
Yeah, like
And
Melodic Kiss is gonna be the big core.
yeah, and I think Zarude actually has some good play too.
Mhm.
My round winner notes here say Cabana if Lugia can get managed appropriately. I just think the double rock doesn't really help Stefan in this
Yeah.
matchup, unfortunately. It ends up being a little bit of a handicap. I would really like to see Genesect get some play here, but I think just based on Togekiss Melodic, and that's not something I would expect to talk about in like
Yep.
draft, but that's also kind of the cool thing about draft. But Togekiss
Mhm.
Melodic is going to give Stefan a little bit of issues. So if we have those VODs on deck, we can go ahead and hop onto them and we can go ahead and take a look at them. Leonardo, in the meantime, in the chat says Lugia is a huge problem for Cabana,
Mhm.
and Raikou is a
All right.
very huge risk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Raikou is
the
definitely gonna be benched. I don't feel like Terrakion has too much play either besides Togekiss.
Yeah, Raikou for my notes here before we jump into the game is it's the only super hard check to Lugia on the team and possibly Genesect
Mhm.
Shock. But with Chomp and Kyurem, this one's actually going to be a little bit harder to use. I'd like to see it, but I'm not sure if we're going to see play. It's yeah, Lugia and Genesect. Genesect will have a pretty good amount of play versus if it is Shock Drive, then Genesect can get
Mhm.
through both of those. which is actually really exciting.
Yeah,
Thinking about the
shock drive is
possibility of
going to be
Genesect being
huge.
able to get through them. Stefan can run Future Sight on Lugia. This it can.
That's
Does he?
mm,
Let's find out.
I
Let's
don't
find out.
know if it actually will.
I'm basing this entirely on standard sets that I normally run into, but the cool thing about draft and Sylph and non-GBL formats is you are flexible in based on what you see. You can TM to cater accordingly, and we might no, not we might, we will actually see TMs be incredibly relevant in a matchup we have later today. So don't go nowhere. That one's actually gonna be pretty exciting.
Hmm.
You guys got trainer tips to go cast this.
Yep,
That's, that's
I might be trainer tips. I might not.
Okay. So yeah, we can go ahead and hit play here. And we have Stefan versus Cabana. This is round one here. And oh, they'll introduce themselves soon. We didn't even do that. That's how
Oh,
scuffed it
oops.
is.
Well,
Hi, I'll go ahead and
damn.
start first. My name's Elodicolo, resident Twitch Master League aficionado, lover, devout player. And below me I have Olivero,
Hello.
also Master League specialist.
I am an Olivia RG. I am a Master League specialist as well, and I mean I focus mainly on Open Master League, but I want to start getting in the Classic more, so I'm really interested in the draft. Looking at this,
Yeah, this makes it
and
so
I'm
there's
a
not a lot
resident
of XLs in
Togekiss
play too.
expert. So
All right. Are we gonna see that Togekiss melodic core?
I'm excited to see this.
Yeah.
All right, battle's getting live. Let's see this. All right, so they're starting with Genesect lead into Togekiss. Ooh, this is exactly what we see for
This is
Stefan.
this is solid here. There's no fires on the enemy team, so this is
And
this
okay,
is
that is
ooh,
the shock drive I just saw there. So okay, this is he needs that he. Oh, that's a fire blast. That's fire blast.
that's actually pretty nice in case the Togekiss
That
comes back
is.
into because that's really gonna be the only thing you get to hit it.
Mhm.
But you have a solid check to the Zekrom here, and that you're running Dragon
Okay,
Tail,
that
so
they
you're
didn't
gonna
get the
get a
debuff. They
decent
didn't get the
amount of
debuff.
farm.
We'd love to see it.
Not bad, not bad.
All right,
Okay,
come on.
so yep,
Oh,
that's
so he
that's
okay, so we get
right as he gets
switch.
to the move. Yeah,
Let's see.
and we
Come on.
do get the
What
swap
comes
in
back
exchange
in?
for one shield.
So
Togekiss.
he's selling Switchheimer. Togekiss. Oh,
This
okay.
is
That's
I love this. I love this
oh,
because there's
they
not a
suck
lot
at
of need for
Switchheimer.
outrage if you think
Okay.
about it. Because the only thing you're hitting with outrage, you can also hit with just Dragon Tails.
And
That's good.
chicken gets cooked.
That's good. Over half your HP in exchange for one
Yep.
charm on it, and the Genesect still has lots of play here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's in the back. Wow, Fire Blast. Fire Blast
Oh
champ.
yeah.
Only here,
All right.
folks.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's not good.
This is a two shield
That's
Machamp.
iffy. Okay, so he's got to shield this because
I think you have to stay in here because you
you
have
absolutely have
no
to stay in
pressure
here.
otherwise.
You have yep. It just counters you down.
So
So
I think the strat here is we're getting shields on Machamp, and then we're maybe
all right.
KOing with Regirock. This
Come on.
is a
Yeah,
little
this is
scuffed.
not good. This is not good.
Okay, this is a call. This is a call, expecting
All right,
him
are we
to
getting?
not want to shield the next X
Let's see
scissor.
this. We're getting the shield. We getting the shield or no shield?
No
Oh, and he went
shield.
down.
Oh boy.
Okay, that is
And this thing, because of the fact that it took a Fire Blast from earlier, this seems pretty doable, honestly.
yeah, and
Ancient Power, Aerial Ace, and Flamethrower, all not going to do terribly too much to Regirock. So I think I like
yeah,
this.
wow.
We have also learned that the oh yeah, he
And
recognized it's
that's
over
first
there because
game.
he can outpace him to two. Wow, wow,
Game one
Fire
done.
Blast.
Wow, that fire blast really was MVP there.
Yeah, and that's the fastest Stone Edge in the West too. So
Hmm.
I think you actually are outpacing Charm by a pretty considerable amount. Regirock performing game one. I thought
That's
that
insane.
yeah. And Genesect
Ooh,
actually looked really good there too.
do we think
And
Cabana's still going to come out on top though?
I'm hoping he adjusts based to this
Yeah.
Genesect weakness.
Hmm.
Because this is also something that, in terms of when people have mons that have flexible spots, in terms they can be regular or shadow, or they can have different forms, or they
Yeah.
can have flexible move sets. Usually, the first game loss ends up being scouting and figuring out what move sets
Hmm.
are at play. So now that we know that there isn't that, now that we know it's X Scissor and Technoblast.
Electrobust.
Yeah,
Electrotech.
yes, yeah, Electro Techno. That actually makes it so he can adjust accordingly, and there's no. Does it get? Man, and this is probably the part of me that does not know Genesect, but can we really blame me for this one, chat? Genesect, I believe, does get a steel charge move, right? Is it Magnet Bomb, or am I thinking on something else?
Yeah, it gets Magna Bomb.
Okay. So it doesn't have the steel charge move, but the point being, yeah, okay, Magna Bomb. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. For having two hundos, you'd think I would know this, but I don't. Cabana now has valuable information about the Genesect in terms of what it's running,
And
and
then he also knows the Garchomp Fire Blast now, so like that's a big call.
it has Fire Blast and it has Dragon Tail now. So we know
Mhm.
with Togekiss that we might want to shield it at some point. And the fact that it's not Mudshot, Togekiss becomes a little bit more valuable in that matchup too, because it can just farm
Mhm.
straight down and it doesn't even necessarily it doesn't get one shot by Fire Blast either. So we could see Cabana playing the Togekiss a little bit more carefully in this matchup. Since it ends up being fairly
Yeah.
valuable against it. And on top of that, it is Fury Cutter and X-Scissor
Mhm.
Genesect. So the only real pressure that it has on Togekiss is gonna be the Techno Blast, which it still gets
Yeah,
to
which
in a decent amount of time.
he gets it very
Um,
fast.
did we see Togekiss's 8 charm charge move in that matchup? I don't think we did. I don't think we saw if it was Ancient Power or Aerial Ace.
I don't think
Um,
but most of the
but
time they're gonna be running Ancient Power anyways. Like, I don't really see many A Togekiss, so
yeah, I don't think there's merit for it in this matchup either. I am kind of
and
in agreement
that
there.
boost chance is way too crucial, I feel.
Yeah, the boost chance is pretty good, and it's also gonna be your best way of pressuring Lugia. I have seen
Mhm.
Aerial Ace in Open Masters, or I'm sorry, not Open, in Master Classic from time to time, and I have seen it in Ultra. But in terms
Yeah.
of what charge move that is, I don't think it really has too much change here. So I think if we're gonna see any adjustments in this next game, it's gonna be Cabana maybe playing the Togekiss a little bit more
Mhm.
carefully, probably in the back and not as a lead, and maybe respecting the Genesect a little bit more because
Yep.
that thing actually put in some work. So let's go ahead
Yeah,
and jump
it's
into
all
game
about
two here.
alignments.
Yeah.
Like, with
Yeah.
Togekiss,
Ancient.
it's all about alignment rather than actually getting it like, it's
Oh,
just been
give
getting
me
it
one
in,
moment.
getting it safe. So let's do this. Garchomp into, Zekrom. Okay, this is favorable for the Zekrom. Alright, so they get that and it's the stream's frozen.
Okay, no, appreciate it. Yeah. Chat, I stream from work, so this stuff happens. But thanks for jump back into it. This is a fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic lead for Stefan here.
So as long as they put shields there, they win this.
Yeah. I think you're really only gonna need one shield here too.
Mhm.
And I think that's just for let me see, that was 6 Dragon Tails. That cannot be the outrage, but we still want to shield crunch just to get out of here with
Yeah.
energy anyway. And I see Super Cavication. Togekiss still Rex Fire Blast Garchomp. Yeah, it needs a
Yep.
lot of energy, and Togekiss needs no
Mhm.
shield, so that's probably not the play. Yeah, old Greg, I stream from work 5 days a week at
Alright,
twitch.tv/Lodicolo as
okay, there's the
predicted.
Fire Blast.
Here's the
There's the
here's
Fire
the Fire
Blast.
Blast. I think this is a
How much is
fine
it doing?
exchange
Is he
for Fury.
shielding? Alright, is
Chooses
he
not to
just lets it
shield
go still,
instead.
okay.
Yeah.
That is
Uh,
wow.
if Zek Wild Charges there, does a Chomp still reach the Fire Blast? It's a good question, honestly, because it is going to
I
debuff itself quite a
don't
bit.
think so, but
Okay. Oh,
okay.
we
Oh, this
brought
is
the Lugia
good.
this
This
round.
is good.
Yes, this is fantastic.
This is good for Stevan.
I'm actually very happy to see that Genesect actually have a good amount of backline pressure here.
Same.
But the fact of the matter is we have a shield disadvantage versus Machamp, and we have to respect either Rock
Mhm.
Slide or Payback here. One's not going to
It's
be lethal, and I think Genesect can probably still pull it.
yeah.
I don't know. Are we two shielding Togekiss? I think that might be the play.
Yeah, I think that's really the oh, okay, no, he puts a shield here, but that's fine, that's fine.
Okay. Maybe he wants some extra damage on this so that way
Yeah.
Togekiss can build up energy for the
Yep,
Genesect
I feel like
because
that's definitely the case. Although at the same time, Togekiss with like it it can't farm it down here.
No,
It needs to
no.
put in a shield easily.
Yeah, and Stefan now
It
has
has to
to,
respect Aeroblast.
yeah, yeah. But this ends up being good for Cabana here because since it threw energy, yeah, okay, this is definitely the play here. These Dragon Tails are not gonna do anything. Has to get out
Mhm.
of here. These
Oh, he
Fury
switches
Cutters
right
are
away, okay, so
there's no offensive pressure from Stefan here. Like,
yeah.
even though this thing is
Okay,
in
so
the
he's going
red,
straight Techno. Alright.
I think this is a play, honestly. I think you have to.
Yeah, he has to here.
Oh, wow, that's a call.
Okay, and
That's a call.
yep,
That's a
that's game 2.
50-50 right there,
Wow.
unfortunately. Wow. Genesect. Genesect, let's go. Let's go
Putting in
Genesect. I like
work,
it.
wow.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
exciting.
Although there was not offensive pressure, there was still a decent amount of charge moves there, and that Lugia in the back actually kind of made for a good amount of padding against the Machamp.
Mhm.
The Machamp has to be respected versus
It just puts
the
in so much power.
yeah, yeah. It works as you can see Machamp versus Regirock, Kyurem, and Terrakion. We haven't seen Kyurem or Terrakion come out at all. I think it's at this point now that we've established what the lines are going into these two games. I think it's going to be some kind of iteration of those first four Mons on Stefan's side. Cabana seems real fond of the Togekiss and the Zekrom. I don't blame him, honestly.
Yep.
Zekrom doesn't
It's a
do
good
too
core,
bad.
but I'm surprised no Milotic.
Yeah, no melodic, and it looks fine. Maybe I haven't looked at Sims specifically, but we're not bringing Terrakion, so that makes sense why that pressure isn't there. And I guess at that point we still have to worry about melodic performing against Dragontail Garchomp, which I think is
Yeah.
going to be a little
Alright,
bit
so the
steeper
score
there.
is 0-2 in, or 2-0 for, Stefan.
Mhm. And we can go ahead and jump into game three now. I don't need to
Perfect.
do too many circles around this, but it's
Alright.
it's an exciting day for Genesect fans in the chat. Honestly, what did I say specifically about Genesect in the notes here? Shock looks great against Zarude, Togekiss, and Melodic. This one's got my eyes on it for some cool play. Editor's note:
Mhm.
saw some cool play. Excellent. I'm gonna go ahead
Alright,
and
now
write
let's
that
do these
in
leads.
notes.
So Lugia into Machamp. Oh, okay, this is
Man,
really good for Cabana.
Stefan with these
For Stefan.
calls.
Stefan is like,
He's on it. So we have
wow.
Zekrom
Okay,
into
Zekrom into
getting a few tails.
man.
You know what? I actually like that though because we have to shield one move anyway
Yeah.
on Garchomp. So if Lugia gets a tail or two before it gets out, it's fine. We're not gonna have to shield two moves
Yeah.
with Chomp as long as
And
Lugia
it
isn't
forces
tailing
Machamp
five.
to throw a shield if it comes back
Yeah.
in on Machamp.
Is Earthquake Regirock allowed for this season of drafts? That is an excellent question, which Roarbooks
I
has
don't
immediately
know.
answered with nope, despite the fantastic coverage. So that's actually
I
going
know.
to be good to know if we ever saw it in the back again, but we
Yep.
don't see it in this rotation. I think Lugia Garchomp just proven
Alright.
to be pretty fantastic. So
So what do I feel that's in the back now that because he brought in Machamp right away? Because even though he knows that he could just come with Lugia,
I don't, man, that's a good
like
question because
what's this gonna
I don't think
be?
he didn't bring Togekiss. He did not
No,
bring
he didn't
Togekiss.
he hasn't brought Togekiss yet.
Yeah, he. I feel like he would have swapped it in there at that point,
Yeah, like
and he is
unless
no.
he's I think he might be scared of the Fire Blast now.
He's two shielding something in the back. If we see Raikou
If
now,
this
that's no, it is the
Oh,
Togekiss.
it is a Togekiss. Okay.
Okay, but there is no offensive pressure again. But look at how fast it gets to these
That
Techno.
is insane.
Oh
Alright,
man,
now it's all about that bait game. Is he
yeah,
gonna call the
Togekiss.
bait or is he just gonna like let it go? Okay,
Okay,
he shields that. Good call. Good
we're
call.
calling him straight. But the thing is, I think Stefan still has a handle on this because we can
Yeah.
we can shock away shields here, and then Lugia all really just needs to get to an Aeroblast, and it's
Yeah, like
fine.
once it gets Aeroblast, it just wins.
This is a fine trade. This is a fine
Okay,
trade.
Aeroblast, are we getting the boost? Do we get no boost on the kiss?
No, yeah, no boost on the kiss. Are we?
Edge.
No, we're not baiting here. We're going straight. We're going straight. We play like men
That
here.
is the way to do.
And
Is he
honestly,
gonna call
I
this?
like this because if you call it wrong, you lose. And
Yep.
at this point, there's still a full HP Lugia in the back. He got to the third one
Oh my
anyway.
gosh, that is
This
insane.
thing is fast. This thing is really fast. Oh my god. Okay. Yikes. That's crazy.
Like,
I love
wow.
seeing that.
That is
Uh, but yeah,
and
we
that
we
is
see the
game.
okay,
Wow.
Stefan with a clean sweep of this series.
Stefan, wow.
That completely goes against what I called here.
Yeah,
Actually,
same.
no.
Like that's insane.
I said Cabana if Lugia gets managed. Lugia did
Mhm.
not get managed.
but Genesect like ruled that game. Like
Yeah, Genesect, I actually didn't I underestimated it that game. So
same.
this is my first time casting and also witnessing draft format.
Mhm.
There are some real sleeper heroes
Like
that
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 is
kind of go
insane.
around.
Like I'm
I like
excited.
it.
Now
I
I
love
want to
it.
try out my
I
own Genesect.
saw
All right,
lots of cool
we
play with
got
what?
one more battle.
Oh
One more
yes, because
battle.
we
Let's
played
see
for
this.
yes, we
Are we
played for
getting that?
so yeah.
Is Stefan gonna get that 4-0, or is Cabana gonna be able to squeak away with at least one win?
We need
Let's
to
find
yeah,
out.
we need one here. Yes, thank you, Dave, 4 battles per set. So yeah, we are gonna see 4 games. Oh boy, yeah, you know what? We're back to
Okay.
a game 1 callback, Genesect versus Togi, because
To-
Stefan is a savage with these
and
leads.
then
And it's
comes
the
straight back
Garchomp.
in with the Garchomp. But wow,
You don't think
that
you don't what's the worst that happens? You know, Cabana thinks, okay, he played Garchomp Study Swap 3 times. Surely he would not play it a 4th time
yeah. But wow,
because
he's just getting
because
those
it worked
calls.
the first 3 times. Yeah.
And now, but is he gonna come back in with the Togekiss after the? Let's see this.
I I don't know. This thing's
What?
loaded.
It is loaded. It's like
If
you don't want to take
if
another Fire Blast on it.
if it's something else that comes in, it's getting double sand tuned instead. And there's a
And there
yeah,
comes the
we're
Togekiss.
gonna see it fire blasted again. I actually do really I love the fire blast tech on this. I didn't expect it to work this well. But yeah, and we are gonna see again. Cabana
That's
does not shield
incredible.
this and is opting to shield Backmon
And what's
too, but
coming in with?
we're seeing Genesect Lugia Core just being a little bit too powerful here. Could
That is
we
insane.
is there a world where we just
All right,
straight X's her
is
here?
he gonna?
He catches.
Okay.
He
So
got he got a
so
refund.
he's waiting here.
He got a refund on that. I saw that. I saw that. That was a Walmart buyback guarantee on that one. He tapped it and
Yep,
then he was able to bait to X scissors. So that works. Gets to save
insane.
all the energy. What a value play there. Gets to swap to
It
X
looks like
scissor,
Raikou.
baits
All right,
instead, and then turns it even shields on Lugia.
because he
That's what
knows
it
he
does.
can at least tank one Rock Slide relatively nicely, so that he's fine here. So okay,
That
that's
is
fine.
so disappointingly less. This Lugia is not
Wow,
appropriately managed. Um,
he's
the
just
one
letting
thing
it
that
just steamroll his team.
The one thing I think that actually would have been a value here, and I'm looking at Cabana's team appropriate now, is double electric.
Yeah.
Because if we bring in Zekrom and that baits the Chomp out and Togekiss
Uh
manages
huh.
it, then
And then
we
Raikou kind of just cleans house.
then we have Raikou because Stefan is not wanting to bring
Like
Kyurem at all.
yeah, and
I think
yeah, Kabana could definitely put done a lot better in those last two games, but
we needed to adjust
mhm,
to Lugia more appropriately, and I don't think that happened after game 2. I think Stefan really just saw that Lugia just ends up having a lot of value
mhm.
and
And we get
cleans
that
out
Air
this
Blast
first
on
round
that
4-0
Togekiss, and that is
with
game
a boost.
with the buff that ended off too,
Yeah. Kyurem is Trash Dragon. No one
and that
needs
with
to
a
respect
bang.
it. Hey, you know what? I thought Genesect was Trash Bug, and apparently
Yeah,
Cabana needed to respect
we
it.
were
So
proved wrong, and
I
I'm happy to be proven wrong. It put in
I
work.
think
I'm
yeah, I think
excited.
depending on the matchup in draft, everything can be respected, but just maybe not Kyurem in this particular scenario. So I wouldn't be surprised if it gets some value later, but today, no.
I'm
Today, no.
excited.
The real heroes in this game were Genesect Lugia
Genesect for
Core.
sure,
Actually worked out pretty good. I was a very big
and
fan of how that turned
still
out.
no Milotic. No Milotic was huge.
No melodic, yeah, I call that one completely wrong, but
Yeah, like
let me see. So I'm gonna go ahead and write
wow.
down here on my notepad, Cabana if Lugia gets managed, hyphen, parentheses, Lugia did not get
And
managed.
I will. Um,
What do we got next?
I
We got
expected him to at least get one win, but all right, we got
yeah, it's
Fatal,
a
Fatal Error, and 77-8-99.
all right. And let me see what I have here as we swap over. I took notes on this matchup first, so my notes for 789 are gonna
Sweet.
be a
I have
little
notes as
bit
well.
they're going to be a little bit brief, but I think I've got some
Yeah.
good ones for Fatal Error here. So, looking at the Zacian, it looks pretty good
Yeah.
against the last 3, but Mewtwo and Ho-Oh really check it hard. If you play any
Yeah.
Master League at all, you know that Mewtwo and Ho-Oh are very capable of one-shotting you after debuffs, and in even shield scenarios, it can be pretty scary because all
It's
Zacian
just a matter of
gets. Go ahead.
what's the moveset going to be, though?
Yeah, that's one thing that we might have to
Because
sacrifice a game to
if
find
it's
out.
play rough, it does really well against Goodra and Mewtwo as well. But like everything, but it's definitely gonna be the close combat no matter what at least. So because it does well against nearly everything, but that wild charge could be nice for Ho-Oh.
Yeah,
That
I
Ho-Oh matchup
think
could be nice.
if it ends the cool part is if it ends up being close combat wild charge, it can still hit Rhyperior with close combat. It
Yeah,
can still hit Heracross with wild charge. It can still hit Gudra with close combat. Close combat
yeah,
wild charge,
and
I think, is probably what I'm leaning towards because it does hit
yeah,
everything for something. I think it's best as
like
a
it, and
catch-all
you
here.
can't go wrong with Zacian. It still just hits everything hard no matter what. I feel it's like
Uh,
a 7-8 or 7/8 Mewtwo. Like it's does well against nearly everything.
yeah, 7-8 has some 7-8 has a very flexible wand in the form of Mewtwo, and Fatal has a
Mhm.
very flexible wand in the form of Zacian. So this first game is probably just going to be them scouting each other's movesets if
Yeah.
they can, because they're valuable. They're definitely going to bring them. Freya, I am going to agree with you in that Ho-Oh is the best, and it's very
Mhm.
fun, and it's a very good mon. It is my favorite mon in the format.
Like, with a little bit of energy, it does really well against most things, and, like, even its supposed counters, like, Rayquaza and Swampert need to be really, really careful of that Brayford,
Yeah, yeah, that will do at least 80% to each of them
and
and put
especially if
something
they
else
can
in
double like, near
the fuck
double
out
up
of
on
there.
them too, like, get up to 100 energy and then blow both, like, that's huge.
Yeah, yeah. And there doesn't end up actually speaking of Ho-Oh. My notes are very brief on this. It says so does this, but actually taking a look at it, it is a fantastic answer to Zacian. You can even take one wild charge and still just exploit it afterwards. Wild charge
Mhm.
makes the matchup better for Zacian, but I think even shields, you still end up incinerating quite a bit with Ho-Oh, and it still has a
Yeah,
favorable
because you can
matchup.
just farm down them with Incinerates. Like, those Incinerates
Oh,
hurt big time.
right. Walrein doesn't really have a lot of play against Ho-Oh. The Icicle Spears are neutral, but
It's still so
Ho-Oh,
bulky.
yeah, Ho-Oh is very bulky in this matchup. So I haven't simmed this one specifically, but I can't imagine it goes any better for it than it does versus Yveltal. I know Ho-Oh versus Yveltal, I think is probably one of the most neutral matchups that Seven
Mhm.
has against Fatal. Magnezone is that one's going to be very bait dependent, honestly.
Yeah, it's
Um,
bait dependent, but I don't really see it having much use besides Regice and Gudra here because it's
Unfortunately.
neutral, but it's like, eh.
Yeah, those back two mons in the form of Rhyperior and Heracross actually do kind of scare me out of the possibility that we might not see it. Swampert actually seems like a decent
Yeah,
consideration.
like, I like
Uh,
Swampert here.
yeah,
Like,
versus
it hits
Rhyperior,
everything
Ho-Oh.
hard,
Yeah, a Heracross doesn't resist the Hydros. The only
and
thing
that's
that resists the
banned,
Hydros is Gudra.
Gudra. But,
So
like,
we
even
could see
then,
some
Gudra doesn't
Swampert.
really want Earthquake.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the only thing we have to respect on Gudra is going to be the Power Whip or the Draco.
Yeah,
And
like,
I think given this lineup here, there's two waters here.
so I think
We
Power Whip is happening.
I think Power Whip is definitely happening, honestly. Let's see. Let me see.
I'm
Doesn't learn Waterfall.
excited.
Rocket. Yeah. Rhyperior, I think in this matchup, given Walrein, Swampert, and here's the thing: if it's Mud Slap, Rayquaza is a flyer, Yveltal is a flyer too.
Mhm.
If it's Smackdown, which if it's only going to take one game to learn what it is, and then at that point we
Yeah.
have mods to adjust to it. Looking into specifically the rest here, Walrein, it's going to be troublesome to use against 789's line. It only really works on Gudra and Rhyperior. Everything else has a kit for it. Swampert is a solid check to Ho-Oh,
Yeah.
Hera, and Rhyperior. I am curious on the Regis matchup though.
Mhm.
So
I
that's
think it
something that
still loses against Regice. Like, let me look.
probably, yeah. That's the one that I don't
Because
like.
Regice is bulky, Regice outspams.
Hmm.
Let me
Magnezone. This
look,
one is pretty interesting based on Rhyperior's fast move. It has some mixed play across the board against not Rhyperior and Heracross specifically. We, I don't think we see it. I
oh,
kind of want to see it,
Regice
but Regis loses
Regice,
or
Regice actually loses. Yeah, I mean, if it
uh,
goes straight Earthquake, but let me see Blizzard.
that makes sense. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. That's why I was curious on it. I was like that
Yeah.
could go either way mentally.
Swampert needs shields to win.
Rayquaza, this one's gonna struggle, but maybe with shields against Ho-Oh could farm a
Yeah.
pretty scary amount. But
It
outside of
really
that,
needs shields. It's so squishy.
yeah, and then now that Heracross has Rock Blast, I don't think Rayquaza is really that safe against Heracross either,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Rayquaza is gonna be benched for sure. Like, there's no real reason to actually bring it here besides, like, maybe Gudra.
It doesn't have bench pressure and it doesn't have offensive pressure. It's like Fatal's playing
Mhm.
with 5, but Fatal has a really good quality 5 here. In terms of round winner, I have looking here because I didn't take too many notes specifically on 789's team, but he has a lot of mods I think that we're all familiar with. Mewtwo, Ho-Oh.
Like
Uh,
I'm feeling fatal here.
I actually said the opposite here. I said probably the
All
closest match
right.
on paper. I think it likely goes to 789, but not by a lot. Like I noted that it is going to be pretty
Mhm.
close. Because
Yeah,
the
it's gonna be a
Mewtwo,
close one for sure. It's just
the
a
Mewtwo
matter
can
of
adjust.
yeah, like it's about adjustment with their top legendaries. I like that Swampert matchup too.
We don't need to focus blast here because
Yeah,
the only thing we're hitting is Magnezone, right? Um,
Yveltal,
that's true, but we could run T-Bolt
Ice Beam
for that if
or
wall
T-Bolt.
run,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
T-Bolt is huge here. T-Bolt.
T-Bolt is a
That's a
consideration
good
here
point.
because but I'm curious. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We got 4
Do
games.
this.
Fatal Arrow versus 789 and man, that getting that Zacian pick, that's going to be really
That one's
valuable
big.
for the rest of it.
All right, let's get these battles going.
Yeah, Heracross looks nice here as well. A lot of potential with CC and Dip. I really do
All right,
like that.
Zacian lead into Ho-Oh. Okay, let's move that.
Is this so or
Is
is
this
this
wild
bad?
charge?
This is CC wild charge.
Okay,
Okay.
this is so.
So this ends up kind of working out. The Ho-Oh
Yeah.
players always know they can take one wild charge and
Hmm.
they can just immediately respond
Ooh,
afterwards. That
getting
is going to
filled
be
up a little bit. Like it's gonna just wild charge and zip here.
we are
Okay, so he
shielding.
shields and okay, so he's going straight into Yveltal. Okay, so he's probably gonna go Brave Bird and Dip more than likely.
This is a Brave Bird and Dip. I do like this, and this is going to do a lot.
Yep,
Okay, wow, yeah, that is easy farm down we're
yep,
farming the
and there's
Gudra.
Gudra. Easy farm.
Are we getting to the Focus Blast? We are. Are
Okay, we got the
we?
Focus Blast. All right, not bad.
I don't think we respect this though. It's gonna do a
Yeah,
lot.
like you don't respect it here. Like you laugh at it. Like that does damage, but like that's not end of the world damage.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's fine.
Oh, this is iffy here. This is really iffy.
Zacian's got a lot of energy and it's got a lot of shields too. It
Yeah.
can't farm down specifically,
Hmm.
but the thing
It's gonna
that
get
I think,
debuffed though is the big thing.
yeah, I think the thing that 789 is gonna have to consider here is
It's just gonna be Sludge Wave.
he's gonna need shield
What's the
Ho-Oh.
charge one here? Sludge Wave, Power Whip.
Sludge Wave.
There we
Okay,
go.
we
That's
are
a Sludge Wave.
we
We're gonna
are gonna
shield
see
it.
sludge.
Good call. Good call on their part. All right.
Okay. Wild charge being, yeah, I guess that's enough to kill
Yeah, I think that's
at that
definitely enough to
range.
kill.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at that point. And then we have
All
back
right,
to
cool.
back here.
And then we
Okay.
just throw this a dip. Is definitely the play I feel because it's like
Throw this and dip in the
you can't
Swampert.
have it too low. You
This
can't have
Ho
it
is in a
too
tight
debuff.
spot. We need an answer for Swampert right now.
Yep.
Or wait, what's this?
Okay. Ooh,
Okay.
CMP.
How valuable is, I don't think he shields this.
Yeah, you don't.
He
Oh, or
does.
you do.
I
Okay.
thought
All
I
right.
thought you were just fine with the Swampert back there. So this is an interesting turn of events. What does
He
789
really.
have as a Swampert response?
Let's see that.
Okay, we're
Mewtwo
letting
cleans
go.
it up now. Okay. Oh, here
The
comes the
Reg
Regice.
Ice.
All right.
The Reg Ice with his
Ooh,
shield advantage. Oh boy. It is gonna need 2 moves.
yeah.
But the thing is I'm pretty sure Swampert is gonna need 4 moves. Because yeah, oh, more than that. More than that. I forget how
Yeah.
well this thing takes hits.
It is
Um,
meaty. Oh, we
but
got a little bit of lag.
a little bit of lag. And I think
Ooh,
we
that's
see Fatal waiting it out. Uh, okay.
okay. He throws the move. What's it gonna be?
I don't know what happened there. Throw an
Okay,
earthquake first.
Earthquake.
You know
So it
what?
takes.
I think I kind of like that because
Yeah.
that ends up being less damage than Blizzard, so we could potentially lock on
Hmm.
down. Yeah, double EQ lock on. I agree, old Greg. That looks like a good
Yeah.
play here.
That looks like the play because
I don't even think this Hydro KOs here.
yeah, it's not gonna kill.
But which one do we shield?
Yeah, that's the big
We
question. But
shield
like,
we shield this one.
okay, so he's
Okay.
shielding this one. But okay, so
Fatal
he's
has no
playing.
more shields to work with. Hmm.
This isn't bad for Fatal because if he builds up a
So,
little extra energy, I mean, I don't think he can make it to a double, but he at least makes it up to it.
yeah,
Like
he
he at
he
least
need,
can make it close. Okay, so he's throwing straight away.
he needs the
You
double.
don't think he outpaces? Like it's gonna be really close.
Yeah. I lost track of the energy on Ho-Oh specifically, but
Yeah.
I think it. Oh
Oh,
no,
that's
wait,
game.
it's dead.
That is game. Awesome.
Oh, okay. I
All right, so
completely I
one win
completely
for
spaced it.
Fatal so
That was
far.
fun. Okay, I think Swampert proved its value there for sure.
Mhm.
It's incredibly spammy. It outpaces Regice to moves basically almost 2 to 1. Yeah,
Like, that is
seven
nice.
7, 8, 9, not counting too much here. Most likely forgot Zacian was dry. Um, yeah, I think we needed to maybe get a little bit of extra energy there.
Yeah, I think that the
And this
extra energy
issue
was
with the
definitely
throwing.
huge here.
That ends up being pretty scary.
Yeah, that
Uh,
swap was absolutely what made game, though, I feel.
okay, my call might be wrong here, but now we know if we're 7, 8, 9, we now know that the Zacian has close combat wild charge, which means that with no play rough, we can adjust a little bit more appropriately. And now Fatal also knows that the Goodra has Sludge Wave,
Yep.
which he did shield instinctively.
Mhm.
But that is also to be your set. We didn't see
And then
Mewtwo,
the other question is,
did
what
we?
charge move is he gonna have? What's the second charge move? Is it gonna be Power Whip, Draco, Muddy Water? I'm feeling
That's true.
personally
Uh,
like, I'm feeling Power Whip personally, but who knows?
Yeah, we never saw the other move. I always like to assume Muddy Water for a bait move, but Muddy Water is
Yeah,
just such a
same.
bad move as a whole. There's nothing that says that the Guja can't just
Like,
run
it
double
is
move.
just miserable, but it it's bait.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Doctor's PvP says that was winnable for 7, 8, 9. I am inclined to agree, so I'm
I
curious
agree
to
with
see how
that as
these
well.
players adjust in the next game. That's why I said in my initial notes it's going to be one of the closest matchups on paper.
Yeah.
And I said I think it likely goes to 7, 8, 9, but not by a lot.
Mhm.
As you can see, there are ways that both of these players
And
can adjust.
no close combat shown yet either, so that's interesting.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
So he doesn't know
we
that he
only
actually
made
has close combat, so
that's actually kinda cool because
yeah.
if, 7, 8, 9 wants to try to go Rhyperior, thinking that it's Wild Charge play rough, then we didn't have to reveal that. So I think that's pretty heads up of Fatal to just go for the Wild Charge. Not that first game, information ends up being key, and the less
Mhm.
that we give up, the more valuable it ends up being later. So I was curious why he went for Wild Charge, but we don't have to show that move, especially if it's
Mhm.
a series of 4 games,
So he could be
which
running
speaking
that
of
really, really clutch, play rough for all we know, so let's see this.
yeah, yeah. We'll see how this adjusts in the next couple of games here. These players armed with a little bit more knowledge. I would really like to see the Mewtwo here. I think
Alright.
it has more value.
Rayquaza, oh, into Mewtwo,
Oh, speaking
we go.
okay. This is a conscious
Let's do
adjustment
this.
here.
Alright, so
What
how's he
is
gonna play
the
this out? Like, this is
okay? So that is 5 Dragon Tails, I believe, to 7 Psycho
yeah,
Cuts.
that's gonna be
So
the this is
it
gonna
is
be
running.
oh, here, there's Ice Beam, so that confirms Ice Beam on Mewtwo.
Okay, are we gonna
Are
farm? We're not too sure
real
farming this, are
yeah,
we?
that feels too risky, I feel.
That's such an investment for just a lead Rayquaza. But we
Yeah.
are going to Ancient Power. And okay, we're gonna match it. That's fine. A boost
And
there would
okay,
be
so no
absolutely
buff?
scary.
I'm that'd be really crazy.
I don't think this lives a Psy Strike.
No,
If
it
it
doesn't live
does, it's
Ice
by
Strike, it's
very
too
little.
frail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Like, it is literal
so
glass. So he's going into his
okay.
own Goodra. Okay, so
Wow. All right.
I would've no building up to the outrage though. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, I think he gets there. I really do think he gets there. Or
He
maybe
would have gotten there.
he's okay. He's saving energy.
Okay,
Swamp.
so he's oh, this is gonna be interesting. Like, is he gonna be is this is gonna what? Not throwing the EQ?
Ah, man.
Like, hmm,
I
that's
don't agree with how this
questionable.
is going so far. I
Like,
think
this isn't
Fatal might be a little bit trying to
he might have
adjust on the
made a
fly.
fatal error, might I say.
Yeah, this is a I don't know if this is a panic swap specifically, but there's
There's the power whip.
oh yeah, we did okay, we did say that
Oh,
there might
yeah,
be panic
that's
swap or not panic swap, power whip. So we've learned that it is double nuke, it is power whip, sledge wave. I think that's excellent coverage for the Swampert and the Zacian respectively. Power
alright,
whip
so he's
also
just having a
catches
farm.
wall rhyme, and this Rayquaza gets a
So we
full
get the
farm
farm down,
down.
but what comes back in? Are we okay, so there's a
Oh,
Ho-Oh.
that's got some value.
Yep,
That's got some value. Is that poking a shield though? I think we save shield for a
yeah.
potential station. No, okay.
Oh, but he throws the shield, okay.
This is farm though.
But that's extra farm, like,
The
that's an incinerator too, and, like, that's not good for 7 for Fable here.
okay. I think we have to earthquake here because otherwise we just got bought by wild charge.
Yeah.
Nope, we're brave
Oh,
birding.
he's going straight
W-
Brave Bird. Oh, what? But
Okay.
that wait, okay.
Okay. Winning Stampede.
Oh,
Wow, that's big. That's big.
that
Ooh.
that's
Okay.
game. That's game.
Yeah. There's nothing that can happen. I think there might have been a snarl over tap there. unfortunately, because that thing had
Yeah,
plenty of energy.
that was a close battle.
That was very
That was
close. That was
super
very
close.
close. So we actually get to see 789 actually take game two. Like I said, it's gonna be close. It's not a clean sweep. The only way it goes at the it's CMP. Yeah, CMP. But it's cool. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Really good games. We got to learn a little bit more about Gudra. Swampert's not as safe as we thought against it.
Yep.
I have a customer walking up, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you take it from here.
All right. I'll take over for a few minutes, but like the big thing is I think like Swampert like as Elo was saying is definitely not as safe, but it still feels like a really good option because no matter what, it at least chunks things or at least forces shields. Because nothing wants to take either an earthquake or a earth or a hydro cannon or neither. But on the right we still don't know if it's Blizzard or not. Like Blizzard Focus Blast. I mean, it's probably going to be Blizzard, but because it's an ice type, it makes sense. But you never know.
He couldn't throw a wild charge right away. Ho-Oh isn't in range, and he gets incinerated down. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I do agree in that was a panic swap because there is not play specifically there for a Gujar with shield. But then also we've learned that we're Sludge Wave.
Hmm.
So I think we just had to take the chance that it was running Sludge Wave Money Water, but
Yeah.
now Fatal Error unfortunately knows that it is running coverage for
Hmm.
Swampert and Zacian. So Gudra actually having a good amount of value here.
Yeah,
If
I
we
feel
can
like
get
Gujarat
shields
now has
down.
play.
So this is a cool strategy because Mewtwo and Ho-Oh are notorious at burning through shields, and that makes it so Gudra has nuke options, and it has
Ooh, I
plenty of
like
nuke
that. I
targets.
like that big time.
So it's not
It's gonna be
something I
really fun now.
considered, but if there's anything I know about Ho-Oh, you either take 70% of your health or you trade a shield. And
That's a
in
pretty good
most
trade.
yeah, and in most options, if you're playing against a Ho-Oh, you end up trading a shield. And that ends up
You
being
want to see,
great
yeah,
for these nukers in the back that are Regice and Gudra. So I
like
really
he
like
has
to
a
play
ton of super hard
789
hitters
to
in the
clean this
back,
up.
which is gonna be really interesting. Like
I would like to see some
they all
Heracross
want
play
big
here.
shields.
I
I would
agree.
too, but I
Yeah.
don't see it having much play to be honest here. Like,
The notes that I have for Heracross here are it has some play if it can be kept away from Zacian and
yep,
Rayquaza. And the Yveltal actually doesn't have Hurricane. So
yeah.
Heracross
So that
technically resists everything it has.
it's got good play against Herc. It can farm. It gets the rock blast. It can do well.
That ends up being favorable. I can't imagine a Wild Charge puts us like too low. And I think it actually, and even Shields could have some decent play against Zacian since all it really does is debuff itself. We've seen, did Zacian, no, Zacian still hasn't revealed its second move.
No,
I
it
think it
still
only threw
hasn't.
Wild Charge again that game. So it
Still no
might not
close
be
combat
100%
though.
safe to bring Heracross yet. So let's go ahead and run game three and
Let's see
see what these
this.
players do with this information. Hera beats Yveltal, Swampert, Walrus, and Magnezone. Yeah, I think it's
Swampert
got some
into Gutra here. Okay, this
great matchup
how
for
is he gonna play
789
this?
here.
Is he gonna swap right away or is he gonna?
Are we building to an Earthquake to take a shield and then dip? Because we know
I feel like
in
that's the
the
play. I feel like this. Okay, so he's building up to an earthquake and switching right out. Ooh,
got it
that might
half
be the.
right. So if this is a Power Whip catch, this is pretty
That
huge.
is that's big. That is huge.
Okay, and we see the
That's
smack.
rock. That's SmackDown Rhyperior.
Yeah, SmackDown Rhyperior here. We know that the Yveltal has Focus Blast, so I think the appropriate play is absolutely to shield and farm down. The Yveltal is not going to get to
Yeah,
another Focus Blast on paper, though.
I feel like throwing blast would have been the play though, but I could be completely wrong. So you get the shield though. You get the shield though, which is nice.
Oh, it does.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, that's fine though. That's fine though. As the
That's big
Rhyperior player, you can just
because
no
it gets
shield this. You,
damage. It gets
you know that's
damage.
not it, and you have a lot of energy. You're gonna get that shield back on the next Mon,
Mhm.
unless it's no Swampert can come in. Swampert doesn't immediately have to respect anything unless it's a superpower, and then even still at that point, I
Yeah,
think
it
we
still
might
takes
take that
unless it's
fine.
for some reason it's EQ. But like,
Oh
why would you
man.
run? But it could be EQ to be honest. But I don't think it's EQ. Like, let's see this. What's it gonna do?
Okay. Okay, that's a
Okay, so
surf. Yeah, yeah.
it's surf. That's fine. That's playable.
And I'm assuming we let this go just
Yeah,
to let
the
our
play is
Gudra
definitely let
get
this go
energy back
because
up again.
he can come in the Gudra and just farm this.
Yeah, yeah, this is fine. We got rid of Yveltal, which is nice. So we have
Okay, so he gets a switch, but what's coming in?
the
I
problem
think
here is we
he's just
have the
staying in.
Zacian with two
Oh,
shields.
he has to confirm.
Yeah, yeah.
He has to confirm the close combat here.
This is a rough one. This is kind of a rough one because we need to throw three
And he gets
moves
the bait.
And Gudra, I don't think takes, unless I'm mistaken, I'm underestimating Gudra. I don't think we take two close combats combined with the snarls. But I could be proven wrong here, so I'd like to see how this happens. No, we do not. Okay,
Bonk.
and we're gonna see a back to back,
And
which is
so
good.
back to back. So he's gonna be hella debuff, but that's fine. So let's see this. This all right. So that's the
Oh, okay.
that's the ho-oh. This is playable. This is playable.
This is -4, but I just don't think that that many incinerates gets us there through the
Yeah,
shields.
I don't think it does.
And on top of that, he
Ooh,
can clear out the debuffs right now,
and that is a decent amount of damage. But oh, he gets a switch.
and he has a shield. He has a shield. Yeah, Fatal's got this one locked up. Because you
Wow.
can't store back to back moves
Yeah.
on Ho-Oh, and he's at the Hydro right now.
Mhm.
So
And he can build.
this,
Okay, so he throws right away.
yeah, that Rhyperior was a pretty nasty surprise for the
Yeah,
Yveltal, but I think the spamminess of Swampert and Zacian here are actually going
it's
to prove
just
to
so
be a
good.
little bit overwhelming. Do we get to this? Yeah, I think that's got to be
Ooh,
enough.
that's game.
That's got to be enough.
That yeah, that but wait, Gucci's kinda bulky, like, that might not be up but, like
Okay, no, yeah, we're
oh,
there.
yeah,
I was like, it's high red. I know
yeah,
I have a habit of over and also underestimating Gudra at the same time, but
yeah,
Swampert
because
still
that
has
thing is
plenty of
pretty
value.
fat, but
So
it's still Hydro Cannon. It's still gonna nuke everything.
yeah, if I'm being honest here, now that we've revealed Rhyperior has Smackdown, I don't think it's terribly valuable here.
Mhm,
Um, just because
because
we're not gonna bring Rayquaza. We're probably not gonna lean into Yveltal too much anymore.
and
Zacian and
Magnezone really
Swampert is
doesn't
a
have too
common
much play
core
here
leading scheme.
either, so it's like,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think if anything, we still keep with Zacian, we still keep with Swampert. We're definitely not bringing Rayquaza. That
mhm.
Power Whip catch was actually very big, old Greg. You're
That
absolutely
was
right on.
what easily made a game.
That was great. Yeah, that Grudra is gonna have a hard time. That saved the shield, and that ended up being important at the. No, because the Gudra didn't get to a move yet. No, yeah, it
Mhm.
did. It did. It did.
It
The
got to the power. Yep,
Ho-Oh Brave Birded. Yeah. So that saved us that shield that we needed for later. So
mhm.
that was not a fatal error by fatal error. That was a great play. Big clappies. All right. Game 4. Fatal error leading the
Let's see
series
this.
2-1. Let's see how
Is
we go
is he
into
gonna
game
try to
4.
clutch this, or is Fatal gonna get the win?
Man, Zacian Swampert core proven to actually be pretty potent here.
That
And
is
we're gonna see a Swampert lead into.
Fairy
Ooh,
Water or
okay.
Fairy Steel. Oh, that's a good lead. That's a
Yeah,
but it's still
I don't want to
shield.
do
It still
this.
needs Swampert still needs to put in shields to win this.
I would maybe for science like to see how much one Hydro Cannon does, because it's not gonna be lethal. And we want the Swampert to throw the move before the Ho-Oh throws the Brave
Yeah.
Bird specifically. So if I'm the Ho-Oh player, I'm pretty comfortable probably just taking one. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. And then
that's
we
fine, but he kinda has to he has to play with the shield here because Brave Bird's like, no matter what, it's gonna hurt, it's big time.
we're not shielding. We're
Or
not
not oh,
respecting.
yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Okay, now we have Mewtwo
Oof.
versus Zacian and even shields, and this is gonna be
This
rough
is
because the Zacian's only got debuffing moves.
mhm.
Which means that all the Mewtwo has to do is just wait for the Zacian to
Yeah,
throw, unless we're
and
just
then it just
tapping out on
nukes.
energy. Or vice versa here, but I think the Mewtwo actually might be at 2 anyway, so it can just respond by shielding once and then throwing
Yeah, I
again.
think it's definitely at 2 here. So oh, and he gets a CMP win too, that's brutal.
We have to surrender a shield now. Just to get our back to back off, which Mewtwo again still has shield advantage in this scenario. So it's perfectly capable of
Mhm.
just shielding both and farming down with -4 psycho cuts, which is I've mentioned this.
Alright,
Okay, we're not.
okay.
Okay.
Well, is he gonna
How do we want to do that?
alright. So he's just gonna let this go, I think. Like,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
absolutely fair. Do we get a Ho-Oh farm down
like
here instead then?
yeah, we get the hoe. But we get the wild charge, that's nice though.
Yeah, this is surely a shield. I would have seen more value in Mewtwo there, honestly. Um, I think
Yeah.
because of the Swampert.
Oh,
Okay,
he even
that
he
thing
even
gets a
gets a Hydro
1
Cannon, that's
HP
big.
Hydro.
That's
That's
big.
unfortunate. That's our last shield here as the Ho-Oh player, but we are gonna have a decent amount of energy, and that was a very good swap, honestly.
But, oh, we got
Um,
that Magnezone in the back. That Magnezone's gonna be interesting.
yes, the Magnezone does have a shield too. I was kind of waiting for this to come out
Yeah,
just
like,
based on.
wow.
I think the immediate note I
Is
actually
Mag gonna
put
put in work?
on this was it's based on Rhyperior's fast move, has some decent play against
Ooh, it's
not
a
that and
Shadow too,
Heracross.
that's spicy. That is
A
spicy.
Shadow Magnezone. Okay, are we gonna spark
Ooh, I
down?
like that.
Okay, that's a brave bird. And
Stone
then
Strike Brave.
what's back there?
Oh, there's the Gudra. But this isn't
Uh,
bad. This isn't bad for the Magnezone because it resists everything Gudra throws no matter what. So
yeah,
if
yeah.
it can get that, if it gets that debuff too, that's really nice.
Yeah, we need mirror shot debuffs here. Gudra is okay.
Ooh,
There's a debuff.
we got one debuff.
This is a shadow though, so I am concerned with specifically how much damage these dragon breaths and just these moves are going to be doing.
Because
Like,
it's gonna add up. You might have to get a sack here.
yeah, we
Oh,
we
okay, so
can't we can't debuff ourselves
no
here.
sack, no sack. That's really unfortunate. But what come? How much does this do?
Power whip does
Ooh,
a lot.
power. Yeah, that's concerning amount of damage.
Save the
What are you
move. Save the
banking it?
move.
Is it
CC.
worth
Are we
it?
catching? No, we don't get there.
Oh,
He really
almost
needed that
there.
extra energy coming out because
Yeah.
I think it'd be close combats there. That Magnezone has a move on deck, and that's locked and loaded. Because I don't think Wild Charge would have done it there.
I don't think it would have done
Because
too
I know
much.
it's a big move.
It would not have killed.
It would have done a lot. He needed two mirror
It would have.
shots there.
It's resisted too.
A day late, a dollar short by fatal error,
Oh,
unfortunately. This Gudra actually proven to have a decent amount of value. And
yeah.
like
All
I
right. So
said, it was
two
a
two so
close
far.
series. 2-2. 2-2. Do we play one more? Casters, anybody know if it comes
I
out to a
have no
2-2 if
idea
we do
either.
one more? I don't know if we have a fifth game or if we're moving on
No,
immediately to
that's
the next
it.
match. Okay, that's it.
All
Okay,
right.
so
Okay.
it is
Yeah.
it's a 2-2. All right.
2-2. All right.
That was, let me see.
So
According to my call,
great games all around. That was
yeah, fantastic games. I said it was probably the closest one
super
on paper.
close,
We were
super
both wrong.
fantastic
That ended
played
up
on
being a
both
tie
sides.
series. So I love that. I love that. Those are some really cool games.
All right. Now
Really
we're
got to
on to
see
Darkest
Swampert's
David
value.
and Sniped Bra now. Like, let's see this. I'm
This
excited.
one, yeah, this one's actually pretty exciting for one of the players.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, there's a few polarizing matchups that go along with this.
Yeah.
So if we can get those pulled up, there's some really interesting picks. And there is a core specifically that's I think Sniped Bra will be bringing that I think is going to
I
end up
found a
being
core
really
too that
potent
looks
on
really
paper.
nice.
hmm
I'm interested to see what core you think looks really good here.
Well, you go ahead and say one of them, and I'll try to finish
Okay,
the
so
other
one
one.
of the big cores I was thinking here is I feel like the Gramble Kyogre core actually looks really interesting here because the two of them, like together,
Oh, for
they beat
David, yes,
everything,
yeah.
and they provide such huge fast move pressure as well that along with the Kyogre Surf, so like no matter what, they're gonna probably need to shield that intensive damage outputs.
I
That
was very close to that in terms of David's cores because I'm thinking for his response to Snipe's most likely core of Gira Gyarados, we're probably
yeah,
going to need
that's
Snorlax Granbull. But I
mhm,
think Gira Gyarados is incredibly good here.
I agree too.
Um,
Like it does well against so many things. Like that, the bulk on Giratina is huge. The
mhm,
Dragon Breath pressure is awesome. But Lax
yeah.
also looks so safe on David's side too. Like it does well against nearly everything except for Virizion, but even then it chunks Virizion and forces it to be debuffed in the end.
So
Oh
my
wait, no, wait, no,
footnotes
no,
for
Sigma
Snorlax
Torch.
say here, Snorlax and Granbull I think are the only really reliable defenses against Gira, and with no fighting
Mhm.
types outside of Virizion, which it now gets Sacred Sword now, so it's a little bit better of a fighting type and
Yeah.
it pressures a little bit better. But outside of Virizion, I think Snorlax actually has a lot of play across the board, and I think David brings Snorlax every time
Mhm. I
because
think so because it's so safe. It's a great safe swap.
it's a fine pivot here, especially
Mhm.
now that we know all of our opponent's mons. And it's going to be great to fight for alignment how he needs it because I think he's going to need it to fight those cores. Kyogre looks very good against Excadrill, Mamo, and Jirachi, but it
But
has three
it's iffy
very
against
hard
the other
punishes
three.
against the other three. Yeah, the other three are hard. So what I think,
It's all about the energy gains for like energy matchups. Because if you can get to the Blizzard, or at least bluff the Blizzard or Thunder, I guess on Thunder on Gyarados, it's gonna be huge.
yeah, yeah,
So it
I
still
think not
provides shield
revealing that
pressure no matter
early.
what.
Yeah, that'll be pretty key there. And I think
Mhm.
let's see what I have to say about the Gyarados. There's only one Dragon Breath resist slash Dragon Tail resist,
Yep.
so I think it runs a
Uh-huh.
Dragon Fast move, and it has a
Yeah, for
fantastic
sure.
time doing so. Because the only
It has
reliable
no
check
reason to
score,
run Waterfall.
exactly. Lax and Granbull, I think, are the only checks that it's gonna have, but it does really amazing against the rest of them. So I think in all four games, we're probably gonna see Gyarados versus Snorlax in some capacity. I think those are
I think
linchpins
that's
to
gonna
the
be a
matchup,
great. But the
and
thing is, this
they're They're
It's
going to
gonna
be
be
present.
Best Buddy Gyarados though, because it hits or Best Buddy Lax hits a bulk point against Gyarados.
I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. Let's see. I completely deleted my notes on Jirachi. That's funny. I do. There's one elephant in the room I do want to talk about on David's side. I have a soft spot for this mon because my dex entry for this mon was a hundo, and it is the Reshiram. If it's running Fire Fang, it actually does better here with it because it has 4
Yeah.
targets outside of the Giratina and Gyarados core. So we'll need to see it with something that can handle Gira, and I want to see it work. I do want to see it work.
Like,
I
I
don't know if
think
he
it'll be
brings
fun.
it. I think it's got potential. I think it's
Yeah.
got potential in the matchup, but I don't know if we're actually
But
going to
if
see that
it
unfold.
at least has that farm down too with on all 4 mon or the back mons.
Yes, we immediately get shields back. And Fang is just very potent against Mamo, against Exca. Jirachi, I'm curious on the matchup because it can confusion, but it can't exactly Doom Desire reliably,
It
and
just
it's
gets
just a
melted
wash
though
versus
either which way.
poison. Yeah. I think Firefang Resh, if David brings it, is probably the play, and he just has his other 2 hard answers to Gira. Gira is going to end up being a very potent core on Snipe's team,
Yep.
and I think David is going to bring Snorlax and 2 friends every time. Who do you have winning this game, honestly?
I have David winning this game.
Okay.
Like if he can manage the Gira core, he wins.
I
But
have
if not,
similar notes.
it's iffy.
Yeah, I said Sniped has a really good Gira core going on. If David can build to break it, that'll define how well it goes.
Mhm.
So if David can get past that, then he's looking pretty good. Otherwise, I think by default, specifically what I say about Gira, it wins versus Kyogre.
Yep.
I think it's comparable against Latios. I'm not familiar with Latios's matchups at all, but I know they're super effective
Latios,
against.
it's like a Dragon Breath based. It's like Gyarados but a Dragon type. I feel.
Okay. That still doesn't give me too much context because I know Gira gets the
Yeah,
ghost
it's
super
like
effective moves.
it's still just like it's spammy. It's gonna get stab. It hits hard.
Yeah, 12 turns to
Its
Ominous
range
Wind,
bulk.
and then 12 turns to Dragon Claw.
Yeah.
And does Lottie win CMP? I believe so.
I think
Maybe
so.
not. So maybe Lottie ekes that one out.
Lottie could be interesting. I haven't seen too much Lottie, but I'd love to see it more.
Lottie could be kind of interesting. Gira wins versus Conk, and then it wins versus Firefang Resh. So it's going to be a staple in the strat, and it's going to be, as I've mentioned, it's going to be an offensive core with Gyarados specifically.
Mhm.
And old Greg, I agree here. Sniped has a stronger matchup based on
Yeah.
team comp, but I think David has outs.
Yeah.
And then I've already mentioned how good Gyarados is. I think this is one of the worst that we've seen in terms of 2 mons
Mhm.
being incredibly stacked on paper, but that's not to say the games are going to go this way. So,
It's all about that team comp.
if you
Yeah.
don't have any other footnotes, we can actually going to go ahead and we
All
can
right.
jump into game
Let's
1 here.
go.
Some really cool stuff. I haven't actually seen a
I'm
Latios
excited.
perform ever. Yeah,
Same
we
here.
have a
Like this.
Latios, we have a Master League Grand Bull, and
Like
we have a
wow.
Virizion. This is some
Is that
cool
gonna be a
stuff.
shadow though? I feel like it's gonna be a
And
shadow Gramble. Okay, so we got the
Reshiram is
Reshiram.
here.
Reshiram on the Gyarados. Okay.
What are we
Is
though?
this
Are we
Fire Fang or
Firefang?
is this Dragon Breath?
We're Dragon
Okay, so
Breath.
it's Dragon Breath.
No.
Uh-oh. But oh yeah, he has to stay in here too because
Yeah.
that's just oh they got the CMP?
Okay,
Okay,
that's fine.
that's fine.
We're neutral to the Aqua Tail. And we do get to a move, but it is
That's
not gonna
fine. It's like
be. Yeah. There's not 2 Gyarados counters here though,
all right.
but I think
We
we're
don't get the
getting.
shield. But we win the zeros. That's nice.
We win the zeros. That's really
That's
good to know
really
for Reshiram here.
nice.
Okay,
So
Reshiram doing
he's trying to
stuff.
get that switch in this order. He really wants to keep that Reshiram alive for some reason.
Wait. Okay, this is big. This is big for
That's
David.
a
He's
Dragon
got the
Tail.
Snorlax on the
Oh.
Gira now. Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was Dragon Tail.
Yeah, it is. Okay, he recognizes that
That's
Snorlax
kind
is
of big.
very big. That's kind of cool. Do we think he's running
That's neat.
Detail Depulse? I
Let's
think
see
that's
this. Let's
flexible
see
enough
this.
here. Yeah.
I oh yeah, this is iffy. This is really iffy. Like
He calls it right.
oh he
Yeah.
shield. There's
It's
the shield. There's the
it's a
default. That's
very good
big.
adjustment by Sniped here. Specifically to be running
All right.
dragon coverage heavy for Snorlax. Knowing that the best dragon check that we're gonna have as a resistance is gonna be Granbull. And dragon coverage still does fine against Kyogre too. So
Yeah.
Earthquake, okay.
That makes the Giratina matchup a lot nicer. And ooh, there's the
Jirachi's
Jirachi.
here.
Ooh,
Okay, this is a 2-shield Jirachi versus a 1-shield
a
Latios.
low Slax and a Metaladios.
This is gonna be pretty interesting.
This
We
is
probably
yeah,
get a
this
shield here, though.
mhm.
Okay.
So he
Are we
gets a
going
shield.
okay.
He's just
If,
going straight body slam.
yeah,
All
if
right.
Snipe recognizes energy counts, then we don't shield this, but also
Yeah,
we're still gonna be concerned about licks, and that thing's still
because
alive.
those looks add up. So he's going into
Uh,
Latios, and that's gonna be. Let's see what the charge is gonna be. It's gonna be Doom Desire, Dazzling Gleam. What's it gonna be?
Leo raises
Or
a
is it
good
Doom
play here.
Desire?
That Gleam is good here because T-Bolt, I think this gets T-Bolt, or I might be mixing it up with Meloetta.
All right.
No, it gets
Yes.
Gleam and
Okay.
Psychic.
No.
Straight Doom?
Let's see this.
Straight Doom, I think, is fine.
Yeah, Doom is absolutely fine here. So goes right. Good timing. You'd go Gleam there if you had a Leonardo. So like, okay, so yeah, he probably doesn't have it. You're right. But okay, so he gets a shield. He gets a shield.
Okay.
Is he able to make it?
Does that clock
He
kill from
makes
there?
it. That's
I think he
big.
gets there. I think David
That
gets
is
there,
huge.
honestly. Because once his claw lands, even if the Jirachi ends up living in CMPing, then Snorlax licks down.
Hmm. Yep.
Because
There we
I
go.
don't think there's that much energy in play.
We're getting the
Wow.
lick down here.
David recognizing the value of Snorlax immediately for game one. And Jirachi actually did.
That
I deleted all my notes, but I told myself that Jirachi actually does have some cool play here,
yeah, I
especially
thought
that
Jirachi
Reshiram doesn't have Fire
like
Fang.
it's just safe. I feel besides Lax and Kyogre.
Yeah, yeah, I like it a lot here. It turns out it actually has a good amount of play versus Latios,
Hmm.
and I don't know if we're ever going to see that Grand Bull. It's been in the corner of my mind, the one fairy type on both sides, and
Yeah,
now that we know that the Giratina is Dragon, I wouldn't be
like that's
surprised if
kind
we
of
saw it
big
once.
because
Yeah.
no longer needs like the immediate shield because it's like all right, it understands that like it doesn't need to be worried about the super spammy shadow balls.
Mhm. So, and we can also farm up a lot with the Grand Bull too. So, has Thunderbolt for Kyogre,
Hmm.
Stefan thinks here. And yeah, I couldn't remember if my Jirachi at one point in time had T-Bolt TM'd. I might have gotten it confused with Meloetta,
Wait,
but I
does
think
Jirachi actually get Thunderbolts?
I know it gets T-Bolt in the main series games.
Yeah, I know.
In
Um,
Go, I think it gets Doom Desire, Gleam, Psychic. I'm a maybe on the T-Bolt. I'm
I
kind of
don't think it
leaning
does.
towards no.
No,
Psychic.
it doesn't.
Okay. Psychic for Kyogre. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's Meloetta. Okay, I'm not misinformed here. But of note that when I did play a main series game, you would run a Calm Mind Thunderbolt Jirachi in earlier gen. So I just have that in my mind that Jirachi gets
Mhm.
T-Bolt in some capacity, but not here.
Yeah.
It's not a play here.
It would be
So
fun if it had it here though, or at least like Energy Ball or Ice Punch or some fun coverage.
yeah, it'd be really cool. David, we actually see immediately able to use that Snorlax with a lot of value. It turns out still a decent matchup against the Giratina, even with the Dragon coverage. And Sniped, unfortunately, ends up with the Giratina core going down a little bit earlier. So I'm hoping we use that information in game two, and we
Yeah,
try
that's
to
gonna be really
protect those
cool.
two a little bit better. But the Jirachi actually ends up having some value to here too. So
Hmm.
this is a really interesting set of six versus each other. So let's go ahead and jump into game two
I'm
right
excited for
now.
this like, game too. Like, let's see this.
This might be one of my favorite series so far.
Yeah, like it's really close on both sides, and both sides have such a great lineup and play against each other too. Like, all right, so we get the Snorlax lead into the Excadrill. Okay,
This
this is
is
mixed.
yeah, this is a fairly neutral matchup. But now that we know that the Snorlax doesn't have superpower, I think the Excadrill has a little bit
Yeah,
more
like
uh
if it calls
room to
bait,
just
it
throw.
wins.
It's a little bit more favorable for Excadrill now
Mhm.
that we revealed that Earthquake sooner. But I think that's the only way we touch Giratina. So
Yep.
game one, revealing that Earthquake there might come
Mhm.
at a price for lead in game two.
Yeah, I feel like
And
that's
we
definitely
try to
huge. So he gets the catch, but it doesn't work because he goes for the bait, and that helps him out
his
huge
counting's great.
here.
His counting's great though. His
Yeah.
counting's great.
All right.
Recognize he does
So he
not have
goes
to
back.
shield
So he
that.
goes in the Reshiram.
Reshiram
So
gets a
there.
farm down here though.
Yeah, Reshiram gets the farm down. Reshiram absolutely gets the farm down here. Easy.
Because his tail, I don't think.
The tail
Oh,
won't do too much. And
the
the
crush
crunch,
though.
but do we get the debuff here?
He
No
has to throw.
debuff.
He has to throw. I
Yeah.
think
See
if
that
that was
that.
a tail, that wouldn't have had to be the case. I think we could have maybe tried to field it
Yeah,
out,
but
but
he
I
just
think
built up a little extra energy that just really cost him in the end. That's fine though.
Drill gets a farm down now though, which is gonna be kind of scary.
Hmm.
Um,
And drill with
okay.
energy is like one of the big notes I had on drill was if that thing gets energy, it just runs through most of the team, or at least like forces a shield, at least in some capacity.
Yeah, I think this is a fine shield for Sniped, honestly.
Yeah.
Since he is gonna
Hmm.
come out of this with pretty much close to 100 energy, even though this isn't an overheat, it's still gonna do a lot. This thing's
Yeah.
squishy, but this funky little mole is gonna be able to get a big return on shields. And this thing does not have anywhere close to an earthquake,
Hmm.
just because we did catch a body slam earlier,
And he's
and
just
we're
letting
gonna
him
be
go
able
right
to
away, which is fine.
wait.
Like that's perfectly fine.
Did, was that an HP glitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that looked really weird. I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, if
HP
drill run
glitches.
does that much, I need to build me one of these, like a better one." Currently, mine sucks, and we have
All right.
Dragon Tail
Oh,
Gira into
okay.
Lottie.
This is really mixed. Like I think he's still that Stark David is still able to pull this off because Lottie spam, but it's gonna be close because those two
Yeah, yeah.
dragon tails are huge.
Snipe gets fast move to death now. I
Oh
think
yeah,
so.
those fast moves just add up. Like, oh no, he gets there.
He barely got
That
there. That's
oh
incredible.
that's close. That is
And that
so close.
is okay. And now we have drill. Yeah, yeah. It is just gonna be a lick down for David.
Yep,
Snorlax,
coming in
big boy getting
clutch.
there.
Like Snorlax
He
is always so solid.
He said we're saving all the shields. Let me
Who needs
see.
shields? Like Snorlax is your shield. Like it's
Yeah, yeah,
fast.
yeah.
It works.
Shout out to casting crew, by the way. I have kind of been ignoring tags a little bit, but you guys are doing a very good job. Um,
Good
in
job.
terms of yeah, in terms of
Casting
what's
crew, we
been
love
going
you.
on today. So big shout out to you guys as we go into
Yep.
game two. David putting the pedal to the metal with Snorlax, deciding
Hmm.
this thing is worth all of my money and then
That is,
some.
yep, that is his key to victory. But is Snipes gonna bring the Virizion to potentially have some kind of check on it though?
We have to start answering the Snorlax now. We do have to start
Yeah, because
respecting it.
the thing just checks everything on his team besides that Virizion. So like, let's see that.
Imagine if
Like,
this
let's
thing
see
was
him.
Shadow. Yeah,
Oh my
I
god,
want to
that
see
Shadow
Virizion
Lax.
though. Yeah, this is
That
just a
Shadow
regular
Lax.
Lax too.
Mhm. Yeah, like oh my god, imagine if that was the Shadow Lax. Like that damage would be insane.
I might start using mine on Monday when the Premier Classic rotation comes around,
Oh yeah,
and
that's a
I
good
think
idea. I have
it's
a 93, but only 14 attacks. So it's like I want to give it a shot, but it's like oh that does cost.
yeah. Old Greg brings
That
up, and
forces.
this actually does match up my notes here. Virizion is extremely risky with Latios around. This is
Yeah,
true.
Latios and
And
then Gramble too.
we are a little fond of Reshiram, but the Reshiram
Mhm.
is not Fire Fang, and it is throwing crunches first. And I think
Yeah.
Virizion specifically with Sacred Sword, it does outpace charge move wise. So I'd be curious to
Mhm.
see
Or it
how
could be
that
running
works
that
out.
really, really fun Stone Edge for whatever reason.
That's true. We do have to get
I
there,
don't think
but
it'll be
it
Stone Edge, but it's
the
like
thing is
it's
it's quick
good.
attack. Quick attack
Yeah,
is I think the
that
best move that
that
Virision's
energy.
getting. So I don't know. I don't know. I want to see it because I think it's one of our most solid answers to Snorlax outside of probably Excadrill at this point. Jirachi has turned out to not be that solid specifically because those licks do
Yeah,
add up.
Jirachi just it's just a little too glassy. I feel like. I mean, it's in the same vein of Gramble where it has a role, but it's like the role isn't like amazing at what it
I don't
does
think we
because
have to
its
detour
stat
too
product
much
is
from what's been working for David, honestly. And I think Sniped is having a little bit of difficulty adjusting to the momentum that Snorlax is able to grab. I think David is playing this Snorlax
mhm,
really well. And we'll see if he can keep it up in game three. Let's
I
see.
think we're ready to go now.
Yeah, just run Stone Edge. That's the way we hit Latios. We go for quick
Yep.
attack and Stone Edge. Mamo in the back. I think
Namo in the
Mamo
back could be
versus
really,
now
but
that we
it's
know
like that
that the
that matchup versus Kyogre and Conk is just ugh. We get the Kyogre
oh
lead into Giratina. Oh, that's a big first snipes.
yeah, I think he finally needs the ability to. Okay, Mamo
No,
is in
no
the back.
lax either. There we go.
Yeah,
There's the memo.
yeah. He
That's gonna be big
decided not
for
to
for
bring
Dave for
Lax.
Snipe.
I'm wondering if this
That's
costs him.
that might cost him here because like that lax would be huge and like man,
Yeah,
wow.
Mamo's gonna be doing just fine here. We get a
But
move
is
as
he gonna put
simple.
in the shield? Is he gonna put in the shield to keep switch? There we go.
Uh,
He does put in the shield to keep switch. All right. Let's see this. So
yeah,
so the
I
avalanche.
think we
Yeah, that's
need we can't have Kyogre on Giratina.
No,
And on
that's
top
just
of
way
that,
too bad.
we come out with a dragon
With the Dragon
claw
Claw.
specifically for Giratina, so that's fine.
Mhm.
And we also noticed
So
there's Dragon Breath Resh on the back. So
mhm.
I think as long as we have swap, okay.
There we get the Gyarados. He's going for the Psychic, alright.
It's
Is he
not out
getting
of the
that
woods yet for David though, honestly.
that's,
We still have an answer for Giratina.
yeah. Alright, let's do this. Psychic, he gets a shield. No debuff, though. No
The
debuff, though.
problem here
Debuff
is we have to put Kyogre on Gyarados.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna this isn't okay, so that's a Thunder Kyogre. That is Thunder, so that just yeah, he can't have that on the Giratina at all. Like, he just loses to the Giratina completely on, Kyogre now.
I'll be real. I think David's still fine, even debuff aside,
Yeah,
because I think he can probably just go straight surf.
he can go straight surf because the thing is he's just gonna no, he's peeled okay, no, he's going more straight away. Because the thing
Yeah,
is
this
he as long as he gets farm, he can just farm down with Reshiram and then throw charge moves onto the Giratina, and he
Yeah, I
wins.
agree. This is fine. Yeah, because I think we just shield and farm down. Dragon Tail's going to be slower than Shadow Claw, and Reshiram does have the crunch pressure with a potential
Mhm.
debuff back there too. So I think despite the bad lead, we're able to wiggle out of it. Specifically, the Gyarados is dry too. These Dragon Tails are going to chunk. I think as long as we just have good charge move timing, and hopefully a crunch debuff here, I think works out here. Ominous Wind Boost. We saw Dragon Pulse. Are we running Shadow
What is
Ball?
it gonna be
And
the double nuke or bait? Like, let's see this. Like, I'm
Mhm.
interested to see
This is really close. Oh, oh!
Oh!
Do we have a move? Shut the
Wow.
front door. Shut the front door.
Wow. That was insane. 1 HP in a dream.
That's good stuff. That's really
That
good
is
stuff. That farm down ended up
that
being
is
so important. David playing that a little bit closer to
wow.
the wire than I think we all as an
Now
audience were
that was
comfortable with.
that's
But
insane.
he even had a shield to spare. He said, "Who
Like,
needs Snorlax? I got it on this one."
David really is showing that you don't need shields in the game, although they're not
I'm
bad
also
to
still
have.
seeing Reshiram gameplay anyway, so I'm a
Mhm.
happy camper regardless.
I'm just getting some good games out of this, like, I'm learning things here, so, like, every piece of information is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And according to my notes, still, if David can find a way around the Gira core,
Mhm.
then I think he's having a good time.
Yep,
And a
and
3-0 proves that he's eating
he's
good.
having a grand old time.
All right, let's
Like,
see if he can keep it up in game 4.
are we gonna get a second sweep this set? Or
Man,
these bat
draft.
this draft? Like, let's see this. Alright.
Haggard to Gira again. We're running it back.
Oh, yep. But
But do we have
what's
lax
got in the
this
bag?
time? Yeah, we
What's
have.
coming out? What's
It's
coming?
the same team. It's the same
Oh,
team. But we
alrighty.
have Drill now.
Ooh, the drill. That's but he doesn't but if he's Axis here, he doesn't know if he has the Blizzard or Thunder on Kyogre yet, so he's gonna have to
No,
shield the
that's
Giratina no matter what
yeah.
if he doesn't
That's
keep switch here.
Yeah, it's so good information, honestly. I think do I like that shield? I'm trying to ultimately weigh it because it gives a Kyogre more farm, and we still
Yeah,
don't.
I think okay, so he puts a shield here, so he's gonna force the either another shield or a little less farm on Kyogre. So yeah, that's a little extra less farm on Kyogre. So oh, he's going double shield.
He's all in. He's all in.
Wow,
He does not want his Kyogre on the Giratina at all, and I think if Sniped
he's
recognizes this, then he shields right back.
yeah. I think the play is definitely the shield on Snipes part, but like let's see this. Let's see how he plays this out.
You easily outpace and you keep
Yep.
control of the game here.
hmm
So,
So he's just
um,
putting he wants that switch.
Reshiram cannot regain control, and I think it's an
Nope.
excellent play of Snipe specifically to maintain this position. Um, but we hard swap
But he
into
switches. Okay. He has but
wait,
oh
wait, this is bad.
wait.
This is bad. This is
This
bad.
is
We have
really bad.
unless he catches a thunder
He
here.
doesn't know.
No, he throws on CMP. Okay,
Yeah. Oh, man.
or like right before CMP. Excuse me. Um,
Man.
okay.
This is over.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I thought that was really bad for David all of a sudden. Okay, we
Yeah,
have to have thunder for that
sorry
Kara though.
sorry, but you did that was kind of a throw.
And then
Like,
what do we have here? We have Excadrill at
he thought it was
about.
free. Like, a really low Excadrill and the Giratina.
I think he's
But
still
wait,
switch locked, right?
yeah, he's still switch lock, but this isn't if he gets to a charge move, I mean, it's game, but it's still like I think he's still like
I think this leaves Gira low enough for Kyogre to farm down,
yeah,
even if the Gira is able to throw, which
uh-huh.
I don't think it gets there. So
Wow,
Exca needs 2 moves
that's
coming out of this, and I don't think it's gonna get there. Wow, David,
that
some
was
some
some
excellent Latios play.
I that Latios gameplay makes me so happy. Like that is so cool because I was just saw this inferior Dragonite, which is like it's a legendary. It doesn't make sense that it's like worse than Dragonite, but we were proven wrong.
Interesting adjustment here, honestly. Snorlax and Latios both seeing equal screen time. We saw actually, no, I think we saw Latios in all of the games, but I think we saw
Yeah,
Kyogre make a substitution for Snorlax in
hmm
games 3 and 4.
which is
Um,
interesting call.
yeah, Kyogre didn't have as much value as the Snorlax did, but I think we were still able to play our way into good matchups.
Now Dina is inferior Latios. Interesting.
And I think although we lost swap, that still ended up with really good farm down situations. So we actually
Yeah.
have a second sweep.
Wow.
David clean and snipe bra 4-0.
That was.
Uh,
I mean, he knew how to play around the Gira Gera core, so that was huge. But, like that's kind
y-
of what we said would cause him to win the game, and he got that win.
yeah,
Like,
snipe does.
awesome
Yeah,
job.
my notes specifically, if David could build to break it, that'll define how well it goes. And David,
Mhm.
bless up, you built to break it. You came and you
You
saw
slaughtered
your
it.
win con,
You did it.
and
I am really
you
proud of
worked it
that
out.
gameplay.
That worked
Like
out
that
really
was
well.
some beautiful gameplay. Like those are some close games.
Yeah, the
Super
1 HP
exciting.
restroom. Woof. All right, so we're jumping into our next
Wow.
matchup here now. Heater 1351 versus Blazingly Blaze. Quick shout out to Blazing because I play him no less than 3 times in every Master Classic rotation. And half the time it's in the morning. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've been making coffee in the morning and I got my Keurig with reusable K cups. I like the environment, but
Environmental.
I
I
cannot tell
love
you the
it.
amount of times I'm making my coffee in the morning, and I've matched up with Blazingly Blaze. I don't think I have
I
enough
feel
fingers
that.
on both my hands to actually count. So I know firsthand how good this player is. Um,
He's good. I've seen him battle. Like he has some skill. I
yeah,
haven't seen too much of Heaters play though, so I'm interested to see how this goes. But like looking at the team comps here, I gotta say, he like Heater has Heater has the kind of has it with the Sylveon here because well, besides I mean Heatran has the Charmer has Sylveon on lock, but like if it's Caesar is just glassy, but I mean it's also like what fast minute runs. So I mean it's probably gonna be Bullet Punch no matter what. But like I think
I think so. Yeah,
I'm really liking the Lando Sylveon core here because Lando deals with the steals really nicely while Sylveon just with a shield wrecks everything else. So I mean he
exactly.
has
There.
three Sylveon weak things here being Zazmenta, Haxorus, and Meloetta seems it's a sleeper pick it seems.
Yeah, I
Like
think Meloetta actually takes that matchup a little bit better because
yeah.
Sylveon can't
Mhm.
throw a. Sylveon takes too long to get to a Moonblast, and the time it takes Meloetta to get to, I think, 2
Yeah,
Seachocks. And
yeah, 'cause I know,
we might get to see some good Meloetta
Sylveon wins
gameplay here,
the
honestly.
'cause I know Togekiss loses the ones to, what's it called, Meloetta, so I know that it's definitely gonna lose so Sylveon is probably gonna lose this matchup too because it doesn't have the same firepower that Togekiss has, I feel.
Exactly. Yeah. In regards to notes I have on Sylveon specifically, this thing, this thing puts the pedal to the metal as well. This thing works
Mhm.
except for Heatran and Scizor.
Yep.
So my notes are is I could see it ABB with 2 anti-steals in the back, which the 2 that I'm looking
Mhm.
at are probably Lando and potentially Suicune.
Yeah, like,
Um,
I think Suicune looks nice here, like, it looks like a really interesting safe swap, I mean, because it either debuffs or it just is bulky enough to bring things low so that something can get easy energy.
It's a good pivot. It's a really good pivot in a lot of
Mhm.
these matchups, honestly. If it's running, because I think it gets what is that? I forgive me, Chad. I fought maybe like on one hand Suicunes in Ultra League.
Mhm.
I think it has access to Snarl, Bubble Beam, Ice Beam specifically, so it's not entirely defenseless against Gira A. You can do some good debuffing.
Yeah.
And Snarls are super effective against Meloetta for what it's worth.
Mhm.
I can't picture Zamazenta being able to do meaningful damage to it. Heatran matchup, I
Yeah,
can't
if it
picture
has
that
Ice
being
Fang,
too rough for you.
that can have interesting play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Snarl, Ice
Like,
Beam, Hydro Pump.
Ice Fang
Mhm.
like, Ice Fang could have some interesting play against Dragonite and Lando, because I mean, especially because I feel like Lando's gonna be coming most games just because nothing on his team really has a like hard wall to it besides like Giratina, which outbulks it, but it's not like the end of the world.
You do
So
raise an
it's like it's
interesting
still
point
just
there with Ice
not.
Fang. I did not consider that Heater does have two double ice weaknesses, and that is the one
Mhm.
source of ice that is going to be coming out of this. In regards
Yeah,
to D Knight
and that
specifically,
and that close combat hurts.
yeah, it does. It is a stab close
I
combat.
I also like D Knight here. Like D Knight does really well against everything except for Heatran, and
Mhm.
I think Caesar's just too glassy to actually like take a hurricane or even like the resisted dragon claws. Like they still hurt.
The steals are
So like
like steals in italics, if that makes sense. They're not the hardest
mhm,
punishes to D Knight. Given that I think the
but
hardest thing
they
that Scissor
do
can
the job.
hit it with is like Iron
Mhm.
Head,
Iron
and
Head,
then Heatran is getting Stone Edge.
just it
But
yeah.
Fire
They
Spin's
still
not
do the
great here.
job of being
Yeah,
anti-seals
yeah.
or anti-Sylveon in this instance. Like it's still just they still just wall it. They do well
They're
against A2.
right. They're anti Sylveon, but they're not anti Dragonite. I
Mhm,
think that D Knight comes out at least once to play for
for
sure.
sure.
Maybe in game one or two to see how opponent wants to play. But other than that, let me see. Did I mix this up? Oh no, Lando. Yeah, Lando punishes the steals in the back, so they could just
Mhm.
be offensive pivots with each other. D Knight, Lando, Sylveon looks really good to me on paper.
I'm
It's
liking that. Like I think like those 3 are definitely gonna be huge here.
Yeah, Mewtwo A, as much as I really want to see it, I think there's too many bad options here to be ran reliably. It's got one good matchup, and that's Zamazenta, and the rest are either resisted or have super effective options on it, which Haxor's having Night Slash. I think Mewtwo's probably more of a liability in this matchup, so this might be a
Mhm.
5v6 heater versus Blaze. Blaze is
Yeah, for sure.
free to
Like
bring
I don't like
almost
Heatran's play here. Like it does okay against Zosmenta, but like that's it. Like it does
yeah.
like because you can just bring Sylveon. Sylveon does perfectly and like but I'm just
It's
interested to see what that Zosmenta has though. Like that thing could be really fun
That yeah,
with Ice
that
Fang.
thing's got some cool coverage as well. In terms of who I think is bringing things on what side, I think we've already covered Heater. I think on Blaze's side, I think Gira A is great against Mel, D Knight, Lando, Mewtwo, and Suicune. I think Sylveon is the only
Agreed.
silver bullet for Gira, so I think he actually brings it every single time.
I
And
think
let me
that's the case.
yeah, Meloetta, I have an interesting brain pick here for you. Bear with me on this one, see if you can digest this one.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
It can't hit Melmetal and Mewtwo that hard, but I think
Correct.
because of the previous reasons, I don't think Mewtwo shows up just because of bench pressure.
Yeah.
So if he really wanted to
Nope.
metagame this, he could bully it into the line somewhere, knowing that Melmetal would likely be the only solid answer to it. So I think we
Mhm.
actually do have a decent chance of seeing Meloetta. I
Yeah, like
don't
I
want to
think
be wrong on this one.
I want to see Meloetta too. I mean, the big thing is I don't think he has. I think the game goes to Heater here, but like I'm really like if he gets his spice right, I think Blazing can honestly pull off a really good shot here.
We are calling them so differently, and I think that's actually really cool because we
Yeah,
stayed
I mean,
chat for context. We stayed
mhm,
muted and we did not reveal our round winner things. We didn't reveal anything about our notes. We just spent an
mhm,
hour click clacking in front of the mic in front of each other. And
yep,
in terms of my round winner, I have called. I think Blaze could run this aggressively depending on his decision to
mhm,
ABB or ABA, Gira double steal.
yeah.
And
How
if he
well can
leans
he
into
break
that,
that core is the big thing.
I think that looks very potent on his regard, but I
Mhm,
think Heater still puts up a very good fight with the roster that he has here. Sylveon has a lot of value that cannot be ignored, and
mhm.
it's another interesting matchup too, honestly, because Heatran is a
Like
very hard answer
like,
to
he
it.
has to bring Heater in every game now.
He has to bring Heatran every game, I think. Yeah.
Like
Let me see.
there's no way around it.
Oh,
So
Old
then
Dreg
just
is
double
blazing.
charms everything.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, we can go ahead and jump into it now. This is another interesting roster
Let's see
of
this.
six v
I'm excited
six
to get this started.
specifically.
Let's get it going.
Yeah, Meloetta looking pretty hype. Unfortunately, no armored Mewtwo likely
Mhm.
today. I could be proven wrong. I think this is going
But
to be
who knows?
Sylveon and friends versus how well the steals can keep up. Okay, so we
Sylveon,
have
the anti-steals is a big thing.
yeah,
Okay,
we
that's a good
have
lead for this is a good lead for Heater.
we didn't talk
So he's
about
just able just to
Melmetal much, but
Dragon Claw that down.
I think it's pretty neutral.
Yeah, Melmetal is just overall neutral. Like it's just kind of as you'd expect if you do Masters. It does Melmetal things. But oh, he's
Yeah.
got the Draco Meteor on the Dragonite. No Hurricane. But
Okay. Yeah.
we do get that Meloetta gameplay.
I might have had Caster's
Do
Curse
we-
just by the fact these VODs are already pre-recorded. I mentioned that the one thing that Meloetta does not really want to be seeing is
mhm.
Melmetal and Mewtwo, but
Yep.
I don't think that
There we go.
Mewtwo's coming along, and I think Melmetal probably comes along specifically for Heatran and Scizor. I think it's reliably fine here
Yeah.
because this thing can't really do much
Mhm.
except for I think we talked about it previous set. T-Bolt?
Thunderbolts,
Yeah, I think
but
T-Bolt
like
is
even
fine
the
here.
T-Ball isn't gonna like do too much to it. Like it's gonna do a decent number, but it's not gonna like destroy it. Is what I'll say. Like
Yeah, it's gonna
we
take a
get the
bit to
T-Ball.
get there.
That's like yeah, 2 shots, but it's like not bad.
But
Like
the
that's
Meloetta
not
does have
terrible.
shield advantage here, right? Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
the Meloetta has shield advantage,
But I don't
so
think we
he's
farm down.
either gonna get so he's gonna be left low here, I think. Oh no, he has to spend the shield,
Yeah,
or he lets it go.
he lets it go.
Wow, so he's giving up switch
Okay.
here. That is big.
That means the
That is
Gira gets to
really
stay on
big.
the D-Knight. But the D-Knight gets a farm down as a result. So might not be the end of the world, honestly. We have 2 claws loaded for the
I
Gira.
don't think it is, but it's just gonna be what does he have in the back is a big
The Heat
thing.
Train. But
Heatran, okay, he gets
now
outrage.
yeah, now we
I
have the
may
Heat
be on the
on the
outrage though. Like I don't really see outrage Dragonite that much.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Outrage, not Draco. You're right.
Like I thought it was Draco too. Then I saw like and I'm like, wait, that's outrage.
Mhm.
Wow.
This still ends up being pretty good for the Heatran though.
Uh huh. Because it just bulks. It just does the anti-dragon, anti-fairy things that Heatran does.
And unfortunately, Heater can't really swap here because as soon as the Suicune comes in, the
Mhm.
Gira comes in. We have this alignment wrong. I think switch is unfortunately kind of key here, and we actually
Yeah,
trade shields. So we're empty on shields.
and the
And the
Giratina
Gira.
can just come in and farm.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, like it's big. Like he has to spend shields here, but like this is just. I feel like he might be able to spend something around if he doesn't if he blows both the shields here. But like, there we go. So he doesn't get the shield here. That's. I think this is in Blazing's favor here.
There's an argument to be said here in terms of how potent Ice Beam is coming from Suicune, but it is also
I don't think it's
Gir-
gonna be that much because it's still.
Giratina is a
It's a
bad. Oh, that's a
shadow.
Shadow Suicune. That's a
What?
bad Mamma Jamma. All right, I want to see what this does.
Alrighty. I'm
Okay,
excited.
that's a little interesting. Wow. Okay, it takes these claws
All right.
pretty respectably.
So, so this is Ice Beam Hydro instead of Ice Beam Bubble Beam. Okay.
Is this the first science approach? Do we want to see how much this does?
He's going for
No,
the
we don't.
undercharge. What? Okay. So he's going for. So he's no. So he doesn't want this to go through. I feel
Okay.
like he has to build up a little bit extra energy to actually have a chance against the Heatran though, because like the Heatran, it's near it. Like oh wait, it threw his Stone Edge, but it still has energy. It still has a little bit of energy. I feel so. But this
And
is
it's gonna
still
take a lot to
really
get. It's gonna take a lot to get to the Hydra. This is
yeah.
good. This is gonna be
I
close,
think
but I think it
yeah.
goes to Blaze still.
I think I agree too.
Because this
Ooh, this
maybe
could
not.
maybe the
That's
Ice Beam.
that's
I
double
know
resisted. He has to
Ice
try
Beam.
though.
Yeah, he has to try. Like he
Th-
has to.
This is
He dies
nuts.
trying basically. This is wow. This battle is heated. We could say.
Does this work? Lag? Mod check?
You get the lag.
Double resisted
You
still
go.
takes it out. Wow.
Wow,
Wow.
that
Okay.
was
Never mind.
insane.
I don't have a hat because I ate it, but that Suicune actually pulled it out with a completely resisted
That
ice beam
was
on the Heatran.
wow. I am impressed.
I doubted Heater for a second there. He was shields down on everything and he pulled it out. That was pretty close, pretty
That's
good. It is called Heat
insane.
Trash for a reason. I entirely
Yep,
agree. As
I agree.
somebody
That's
that
why I have him
ran
rated Heatran.
shortly after hitting Legend, I ran Zekrom Double Steel, and one of them was Heatran. And the conclusion I came to is if I can't KO Dialga after 7 fire spins with
Mhm.
my fire move, it's
That's
trash.
just no.
It's
Yeah,
trash.
like
I don't. I'm not a fan of it. I think it really needs regular Suicune loses there. That's interesting. If somebody wants to
mhm.
run how much that Ice Beam does, and if Heatran gets to a move in that time, that's very close. I think that might be an argument for Shadow actually doing well there. I know my
Yeah, like
Shadow Suicune is trash, so I won't be playing along with this on friends.
I
But
I just want to see that I want to see Heatran get good because like I have a shiny 96 and it's like I want to see it get Magma Storm. It needs to
but
happen for it to actually be viable.
on the same turn of events, I wanted Ho-Oh to get Sacred Fire, and then a finger on the monkey's paw curled. And if you've seen
Yup,
Sacred Fire's
it's
numbers,
junk.
it is a
Bad.
strict side/complete downgrade to anything else that you have going on. because I
All right.
think it's more. Yeah, it's more expensive than Earthquake,
Yeah.
and it's still not that
It gets
consistent.
the it gets the chance of a debuff on the opponent, but that's just it's not worth it.
I think the way we fix it is we make it cheaper or we make the debuff guaranteed.
Yep.
We have
I
to
just
fix one
ran
of the two.
I ran the Sims and ran the Sims and it's 38.9% to get a on so it does like roughly 40% to on guaranteed altered from an ice beam from Shadow Sweet Coon.
Wow.
And let
Okay.
me check. Regular is 32.6.
What about a catch of Ice Beam on Heatran? That could be
Let me
pretty
look.
likely too. If I'm Blaze, but then again, I'm not as good as a lot of the other players out there. I'm not too
That's
privy on Snarl Ice Beam counts. But if you
yeah,
know
like
like
that's
your energy
13%.
numbers, I know my energy counts based on move counts, not specifically on numerical numbers. And the people that think numerical numbers there, I think just have universal value across the board versus like I don't know
Mhm.
how many snarls it takes to get to an Ice Beam. So Snarl Ice Beam was already enough to KO. Yeah, from that
Yeah.
range apparently.
So damn,
But
I'm
yeah,
happy to see this Sweet Coon put in work.
on the topic of Sacred Fire Ho-Oh specifically, before we jump into it, it had to be incredible to replace Earthquake because Brave Bird is just gonna be the staple on it, and it just ends up being unfortunately a little underwhelming. So I guess as your resident Ho-Oh user, I use it every season. I've been using it since I think season 6. Brave Bird Earthquake is still the play unless they
Mhm.
change anything different on it. There's
There's no
nothing.
reason to run Sacred for the extra. Like the extra fire damage isn't worth it because you already get the fire damage with the Incinerate. I feel.
But this information is data mined. It is subject to change at any time. Remember, we saw Reggie Draco and Reggie Alecki. Reggie Draco had lock on Dragon Claw for a little bit, and then they mined
That
that.
would
That
have
got
been
changed.
so overpowered.
That would have been gross. There is previous history of them changing stuff as it gets mined before it gets released. So
Mhm.
I'm
I
holding
mean, the
my
thing is
breath.
that neither of them gets lock on in the main games though, so I think that's why they changed that.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into game 2 here specifically. Heater's showing some fantastic Shadow Suicune gameplay, and I'm hoping to see it again.
All right, so we get Heatran onto Dragonite now. So this looking in Blaze's favor, but like let's see how this goes. Let's see how he plays this up. So he has Melmetal and Suicune in the back, but
Mhm. This is an
that's
interesting
so
matchup
far.
too because they're both resisting each other's moves.
Mhm.
And we try to catch
Tries
the
to
Stone
catch but
Edge there.
fails, but goes into Meloetta, but
Blaze finally gets his
let's see
Meloetta in on
this.
something that is not Melmetal, which means
So
that
he's going for the Hydro. We don't know that this is Hydro yet either, so this is gonna be let's see. Does he shield this or is he gonna I think he
I
has to
can't.
shield though. There we
Okay,
go.
yeah,
Got the shield.
okay, yeah, he knows. This thing is actually this thing's kind of cool. Kind of want one now.
Yeah. I want to build one too. My dad
Half.
doesn't want me to build one though.
Does he get to another one?
No.
Oh, he gets an
Oh,
A move though. He gets an A
gets
move
another
though.
ice beam. No,
Wow,
that's big. That's big.
calculated. That's nice. That's some nice
Spring
damage on the
Brain.
way out too. Because I
Yeah.
think the Meloetta.
Like
Yeah,
that's good
okay.
farm on Dragonite.
Anybody
That's
know
good
how much
farm.
a Hydro does? Kind of curious myself if we don't learn it later. But this is
Second on
fine
Sim.
for Melmetal. Hmm.
Hydro does 50%.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
That is not that was not let's see this.
Yeah.
So he's running just the basic moveset on Melmetal and he's just building energy, which I think is the play here because Meloetta it can hurt with the Thunderbolt, but it's not that bad. So if he gets the
Yeah.
Rock Slide, he's gonna have to sack this off here because it's like you're what's the point in shielding here? You
Yeah.
get no
Leaving
real
as
extra play out of that.
close as you. Yeah. I would have liked an undercharge there. But I think we still have close to a move for Heatran if it comes in.
All right.
Okay.
So
So we
he's
have. Yeah. We have
so
Melmetal and
this isn't
D9.
bad. This is really not that bad because he can go into Dragonite here and get that farm because Dragonite has energy and he has shields too, which is really nice.
Yeah. This is I think still fine positioning.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I Darker than David says Dina can beat Heatran up a shield. I entirely agree because of how long it takes it to get to a Stone
Hmm.
Edge. And even if it's running Iron Head specifically, that's not doing that much to Dina. The fire spins don't add up that much. And those Dragon Breaths are essentially
Hmm.
death by 1,000 cuts, honestly. You add
Like
up enough
it's
of them and
still
you can
like
take
they
out a
add
lot.
up and it's still so spammy and so strong with that
Yeah.
damage output. So it's like even then,
Hey, that's a
okay,
pretty cool snipe.
okay,
I like that.
I'm a fan.
And we take it and we immediately go
And
out.
he goes back in
This
Atran.
This Heatran, I think, is a day late dollar short here because this has A notification up top. It's gonna need 3 stone edges to get out of this,
Yeah.
and D Knight is gonna be more than capable of getting to multiple charge moves at this point.
hmm so he got to so now he's down both shields still, but like, wow.
All right. We
I
still
think
haven't
I
seen
think he can
Scissor
still
yet,
pull this
though.
off. No Caesar yet. Like, yeah, that's is he gonna bring it game 3 or 4 is the big question.
Yeah,
But I mean,
curious.
Caesar really doesn't have much play besides Sylveon and
Based on what we've been
kind of
seeing,
Dragonite
probably
here.
not. Yeah, Dragon Breath is higher DPT and Fire Spin. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Dragon Breath is
18
such a
turns,
good move.
not 15. My bad. Or not 21. Oh, ooh,
Ooh,
what a
that's
catch.
good. That's
That's
good.
good. That's good. That's game winning for Heater. Because now all this D9 has to do is wait. Kick, wait. Wait.
Wait,
Hold up.
this.
Hold up.
Oh,
No. Okay. No, yeah.
that got.
D9 still got this. I got scared for a second. I was like, oh
Yeah,
man,
I was like,
if
oh,
that Giratina had more energy. Ooh.
yeah, that would have been brutal. I was like, oh, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
big.
Little bit more bulk in Master League.
That was really well played on Blaze's part too. Like, even though that was lost, that was still really well played.
Yeah, that was a super cool set. I really liked that Meloetta actually got to
hmm
play a little bit there as well. I do wonder if Blaze adjusts at this point and recognizes that we might be bringing
hmm
Heatran a lot, and Sylveon hasn't shown itself yet.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
anything,
this is gonna be
Suicune's
interesting because
showing up more.
I know Lando either on Heater's part. It's like I expected Heatran to, or not Heatran, Lando to have a decent amount of play. So like,
The Sylveon is just bench
interesting.
pressure. Actually, this is
Yeah,
this is kind of five head on Heater's behalf because
this is
he hasn't
actually
brought it
huge.
at all, and he's forcing Blaze to bring Heatran as a response to Sylveon. So
hmm
in response to that, you just bring plenty. You already know right off the bat, just based off the fact that you have Sylveon, if your opponent does not bring Heatran, they're vulnerable to it. So you just
hmm
bring checks the Heatran, and
Yeah, like that's really
effectively
smart.
a team full of them: Metal, D Knight,
hmm
and Suicune. I
Like
think
there really
that's
much he can do here against the mindset. Like he's just kind of trapped in that he has to deal with Sylveon because the moment that he takes Heatran off his team, they're probably going to bring Sylveon,
it's an
and
insurance policy,
Sylveon's
but it comes at the cost of a team slot, and
a
I think
team
that's a
slot and predictability.
yep, and
Like you know what they're running.
information as we mentioned in series one is not the type of thing you want to be giving out for free,
hmm
but Blaze has to give it in this situation, and I think that's really awkward to
That
be in that team
pressure is.
position. Yeah, we'll see if that ends up changing how games 3 and 4 go. So let's go ahead and jump into game
Mhm.
3 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Sylveon came out game 4. Honestly, that would be the funniest thing in the world to me. If Blaze
Mhm.
decides, okay, I'm bringing Heatran 3 times, and then it comes out.
And there we get this Osmenta. What's the fast? Is this the Ice Fang talking
Let's find
about?
out. I want to
Snarl
assume
or whatever.
Snarl, but you raised a good argument for Ice Fang. Okay, there's Snarl.
Snarl. Okay.
That's not
All
bad.
right. That's not terrible, but it's like this thing just doesn't really have too much firepower either. That is a Shadow Suicune though, so it does have a little less bulk on its part, but it's like, all right.
Okay, we do shield hydros. That's good. This thing can now throw back-to-back close combats.
Yeah.
One's not going to be lethal. Suicune is decently tanky,
hmm
even as a shadow. But I'm wondering if we throw, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. A crunch into a close combat, I think would be fine. So we'd have
And
to
but we
double
get
debuff it.
we get the debuff. We get the debuff. That is big. So we need to shield this or let this go down. What is he gonna do here?
Oh, he's letting it go,
Oh, and
and he's
even with that
calling
energy, that
again.
is
Another one. Whoa,
wow. My
whoa! What was
God,
that? A
this
double
thing is
defense drop.
living,
Double defense drop. The Shadow Claw snuck in, and he gets the
and
Ice
it
Beam
gets
on the right target.
Giratina. That is, oh
That's
my
nuts.
gosh,
That's
these
insane.
games are absolutely
Okay.
fire. That was a cool
Wow.
play.
But now we have the D Knight locked in on the Gira. Shields up. Ends up being a pretty
Wow.
awkward spot because it got very minimal farm on the Suicune too. We can take one Dragon Claw. and we can just shield the next one. That was such a cool Suicune play, if I'm being
That was
completely honest.
something
I
like, that
never thought that
was
was a sentence that was gonna come out of my
insane.
mouth, but that was pretty damn cool.
Like,
Um,
I always assumed Suicune was trash before this, and now I'm like, I'm kinda changing my mind a little bit.
yeah, I think as a shadow, it's got some talking points specifically in draft. A lot of these mons do, honestly. They
Mhm.
don't end up lining up with the popular archetypes of GBL specifically, but we get
But,
to
like,
see how
they
some of these
can
mons
be
perform.
promising, and, like, I'm excited seeing in this draft with so many of these mons having
Mhm.
viability.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
It
he's shielding this. The crunch is gonna be shielded, but is he gonna get the debuff? 'Cause
no,
he needs
no
to keep.
third debuff.
Oh, and this is
Meloetta's on the Melmetal again.
yeah, that's probably game here at this point.
I as much as I like the Meloetta here, I think it's only had one matchup so far this series that it has not lined up or it has not lined up on a Melmetal. And that is the one
Mhm.
thing that I mentioned in my notes if we look at it. Can't hit Mel and Mewtwo that hard, but I don't think Mewtwo shows up just out of bench pressure. But he could bully it in knowing Mel would likely be the only solid answer. But Heater is living rent free in Blaze's head right now and deciding
Mhm.
I just need to bring Mel in the back and I always have an answer to Meloetta. On top of that,
Yeah.
Mel actually puts up a good fight against Heatran too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, those superpowers just hurt. Because I mean, in The Sims, Heatran or what's it called? Melmetal actually does win against Heatran, surprisingly. I remember, like, back in because I started around season 1, like, looking at The Sims being
Mhm.
like, what if I wanna try like, I wanna try to find a good Heatran Meloetta or not Meloetta, I mean, Melmetal counter because it's like, this thing is everywhere, I don't like it, it's countering my Togekiss. I'm like, what if I tried Heatran? Then I'm like, it loses.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. That kind of it's very surprising, honestly.
Yeah, that's
Now that Melmetal's at 1 HP kinda, and now we
yeah,
have
like that.
what?
It's basically dead to literally whatever.
Zama has a shield though.
But yeah, this is I think Blaze is actually able to get the at least one win here. This is still these battles are really close though.
This is a tough bait.
Mhm.
Yep, yep. Because now he has the extra Dragon Claw. Um,
But does
is
this
he
kill?
needs to come out of this with 2
I don't think
moves.
this
And
kills.
I don't know if he has the HP to come out of this.
No, he doesn't. He can't come out with two moves here. He has to throw or yeah,
I
like that's
How close is that Melmetal? I think it left kinda
it's
close.
yeah, I think like
Oh, nope, never mind. On the
well,
board. On the board. Okay, I, for
alrighty.
whatever reason, thought it was, like, 1 away. Blaze adjusts very nicely for game 3, putting a little bit more stock in his Zamazenta, and, it turns out to be pretty decent there. Ends up being
Interesting.
a fine closer. I like that. I like that a lot better, for Blaze specifically. So we have a 2-1 series here. We still have not seen Sylveon.
Wow.
We
He's
still
just
I
like that is he is Sylveon is living rent free in Blaze's mind.
The funny thing here is I am as a caster putting what I think my player expectations are, which I think is the base level of what each player is going to be
Mhm.
thinking about each player, and they're going to be playing contrary to that. So
Yeah.
I don't mind being wrong. I'm actually
Same
very
here.
happy to be wrong in this instance because it makes the play less predictable and more interesting.
Mhm.
I
And,
saw
like,
more
I'm learning
Suicune today
things
than I
too.
thought I was going to see. Yeah, I'm learning a lot too. I'm
Like,
having a
I'm
great
learning
time.
things that, like, I never would have expected to see, and, like, I'm loving to learn all these new GBL tactics, like, things I would never learn and be able to actually apply to my own gameplay.
And you guys got this
Like
stuff built, so it's really cool to see Latios and stuff like that
yeah.
too. I kind of want to raid that again when it comes back around. I didn't really
Mhm.
get a good one, but we have game 4 coming up next. Let's see how well Blaze is able to adjust and see if he can pick up the 2-2 score here. Otherwise, Heater's been on a good run. I think Melmetal D Knight is proven to be a pretty nice core for him. I was initially predicting D Knight Lando Sylveon, but I think D Knight showing up every game is pretty accurate here. Blaze
So we
catching a
get the
minor lead with Gira, yeah.
so this is an iffy lead for Heater, but I think this is still fine, but, like alright, so I think are they just gonna swap, or, like, is Heater just gonna let this go, or is he gonna he's going
Just
into
build
Sylveon
center.
or to not Sylveon, I mean, Suicune.
Okay,
And then
here
we get
we
the
go.
Meloetta, that's is he
He
gonna
gets it
so
right.
is he gonna shield? Is he gonna shield this? So he's going straight for the Hydro again. Are we gonna get the shield
Science,
here?
does he take it?
Let's
Yeah,
see
he gets
this.
okay, okay.
There's the shield. There's the
But
shield, that's big. But then
the thing here
alright,
is we
so
give Melmetal a lot of farm.
yeah, I think Meloetta absolutely gets farm here.
Get shields up. And then we have Mel and D Knight versus Giratina with a shield up and lag on his side, apparently. I
Yep.
think this is actually going to be able to snowball in Heater's favor yet again, unfortunately. This thing can come out with as
Mhm.
much energy as it wants to. And T-Bolt is not necessary to be respected at this range of HP, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so bulky that it can, even though it's neutral, just withstands it.
no, yeah, we
Like, it
can't
still
farm
makes
that
it no
cleanly,
problem.
but we have the
You still at
flexibility
least
as
have a move.
you could very easily undercharge here.
Mhm.
But
So he's
you're
going
capable
back
of
into Giratina here. So
D
let's see
D-Knight's up
this. So
shield.
D Knight, like that is nice on D Knight's part. Like it just because it can only like even though it has to trade shields, it gets that farm, which is huge. And
David
yeah,
says he doesn't like the switch.
I'm on this either. I'm on this. I agree completely
Yeah, it's
because
it's a
giving the
bit of an
Dragonite
awkward one.
energy is just like that is really iffy. Not
Mhm.
having shield or having it like having a Dragonite with energy because that thing is so strong with energy and
Yeah,
spamming too. It's
I
like
think you just need to know you need to throw flat T-bolts and then see if you can come back around with an energy lead on
mhm.
Gira. I think that's probably
And
going to be
like
your play.
he's that Giratina's getting low. Like he doesn't want to have that. Like so we're getting the Dragonite in now.
It's just going to be a straight farm through shields
Yeah.
because D-Knight can take what, 2 claws?
Yeah, it takes 2 claws easy.
Takes 2 claws and then is just going to be able to Dragon Breath down.
Yeah.
And then on top of that comes out the energy for the Meloetta too. But
Mhm.
I don't. I'm kind of iffy on how
So
much
like
energy the Meloetta had, but I don't
Meloetta
think
I
this
think had
is
like at least a confusion or two in. So
okay.
let's see this. All right, so this Meloetta comes in.
Interesting swap.
Okay, so he has to shield this. That's like I said, like yeah, shielding is a good part because he gets the extra energy.
Oh man,
So,
nice. Claw doesn't
ooh,
do it from here, right?
all right. Claw would have killed, but it's like it would have been just a waste of energy. I feel. So what's he gonna come in with?
Oh, the
Here
Zama.
comes the Zazmenta. All right, he's
He
going
baited last game. He
outrage.
has to call it.
Yeah, this is all about if he calls, he makes the tie. If he doesn't call, he does not make the tie. He
Oh
does
boy,
not. He does not do it. All right. Is he gonna get the? Oh no! Wait, this is gonna be close.
this is gonna be
This is gonna
very
be really
close
close. My gosh.
because Melmetal cannot farm that down, and the Tina is still back
Oh
there.
yeah, that's gonna be a tie. That is gonna be a tie. Wow.
Okay. Wait. That's
Hold
funny.
up.
Immediately on charge move recognizes. Okay. Yeah,
Just GG's.
recording's over. All right. Blaze picks it up. Zamazenta
Wow.
actually having a lot of value in
That
these
is.
last 2 games, honestly.
I, I like being wrong on that Zaz call instead of it being Ironhead. It's or not. I mean Ice Fang. It's that Snarl. Like that put in work.
So let's
And
see how much
like
this differs from my game notes here specifically. Um, my
interesting on how the both the
Zamazenta
battles.
My Zamazenta notes. Dog doesn't have a lot of targets outside of Mel, but he has other mons that can check Mel. So I think Good Boy stays home since Sylveon is likely coming every time. Gang, I was wrong. I was so wrong.
Yep.
That's a good dog.
Yeah. I like how on both the games that we had differing views were both ties.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. That actually means there's a lot of play on the board though. Honestly, with two
Yeah,
series,
like I like that.
Uh,
Mhm.
they're either just in favor of like in the case of the I think I called the Cabana one wrong.
Yeah, no,
Uh
I think I called the Cabana. We both called Cabana wrong.
Yeah, because I thought Cabana won if Lugia got managed, but I put here
Yeah.
parentheses Lugia
Mhm,
did not get managed. And then
mhm,
in the David versus Sniped one, I said if David manages the Gira Gera core,
mhm.
then he wins that. Um,
Yep.
so I called the first part of it wrong in that I thought Sniped was gonna win, but
Mhm.
I did say what Sniped's lose con was there, so that actually worked out pretty well there.
Yeah.
And the 2 series in between have actually been very mixed, very cool. So these are super refreshing games that stray outside of the meta. Um,
Mhm.
and we actually get to see some really cool featured mons play. In series 1, we got to see Genesect. In series 2, was that the Reshiram series?
No, that was Darkest David had the Reshiram.
Okay, what did we see?
Second
We
game,
saw we saw
we saw
Swampert.
Gudra. We saw Swampert and Gudra.
Swampert, Gudra were the mainstays in that one. And then Series 3 was David versus Sniped, and
That was the
that was the
Reshiram, that was the
Reshiram
Latios, that was
and Snorlax.
the
We didn't even see the
Snorlax.
we didn't even see the Grand Balaya. That's funny. So we got
Yeah.
some cool stuff. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of watching
Mhm.
draft. Honestly, this is more of
I'm
a
loving
spectator
this.
sport for me because I don't have the dust or the resource to build all this cool stuff. But other guys
Mhm.
that have this cool stuff, this is some great Pokemon battles right
Yeah,
here.
like,
So
I like doing the lower tier drafts, like the gray and ultra drafts, but, like, master draft like, I'm doing a master draft soon, and I'm really like, this is giving me some really good insight to what
Master
works, what
Draft.
doesn't work.
Yeah, so on top of giving a quick shout out to our casting crew, which I will happily do again, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our competitors today for being able and willing
Mhm.
to share your battles and your resources and providing us with some pretty damn good entertainment today. So we're
Like,
gonna
this is
jump
this is
into
awesome.
we're gonna jump into game 5 here specifically, or rather series 5, which is gonna be Oscar versus Dutch Goku, and we can pull up the matchups right now. This one's very interesting. Um, I put on this one that this is probably the best
Yeah.
and the last one.
Mhm. This
We
is gonna
got
be
some
exciting, like, this is really interesting picks.
look at third one on Dutch Goku. You know what that is? That's a Master League Mew. Do you know what that thing runs? Whatever it wants. I don't know what it's running. You don't know what it's running.
Very interesting, like, this is gonna be,
Chat
like,
doesn't know what it's running.
it's the Swiss Army knife of a lifetime, like,
Th-
it literally can be tailored to everything
this thing's
and
gonna be really cool.
anything,
On the other hand, if we look at Oscar's side of the field, look at that SCAV and look
and
at the
look at the
last 4
opponents.
months.
It
Just
gets some
yeah, look at Dutch Koku's team as a whole, and then you look at SCAV. So we got
and you
some
see that
really
potential. That
both
is
si
some like,
both
that's
sides have
sneaky
nukes.
strong.
So this is fun. This is really cool. In reality here, let's go over some quick notes here. I wrote down Oscars first. Palkia. This
Yep.
is one of the only things that deals with Lando and has some play against maybe
Mhm.
Mew, Avalugg, and possibly Hydreigon.
But that
Dialga
Gardevoir
and
matchup
Guard.
is really iffy.
Yeah. Dialga and
Like,
Gardevoir make it
Dialga and
really hard
Gardevoir
to
just
pick.
ain't really not
Yeah,
it.
but I don't. It has maybe limited merit beyond bench pressure,
Mhm.
but it is one of the only solid answers to that Lando T. So I don't know how much it
Mhm.
shows up. I think we might just try to tag team
Yeah.
Lando T and then just
I
keep
think, like,
on the bench.
Groudon also has iffy play, like, it's very neutral, but it's like, alright, it it does at least pressures most things with at least, either Fire Punch or Earthquake, like, even, like, Landotee has pretty good matchup versus it, but it still doesn't wanna take those repeated, Fire Punches in the similar vein how Togekiss doesn't want to either.
I think if this thing actually goes Dragon Tail, it has a lot of merit. It
Yeah,
with
I like
the
that here. I
Yeah,
like that
with
here.
Dragon Tail, it hits Dialga, it hits Lando. If you've played Dragon Tail
Mhm.
Groudon versus any form of Dialga, you don't have to bait anymore. You just shield once and you just go straight Fire Punch and you're cooking. Um, Dragon Tail is going to enable it to hit Lando, so I think we actually see Groudon because there's only one fairy on the other side. I
And
think
then
we
I
probably
even then, Gardevoir doesn't wanna take Earthquakes.
yeah.
It does not want to take those charge moves like Togekiss can.
No, no. And it could have play against Mew. We don't know enough info about Mew, but we have super effective Dragon Tails on Hydreigon. We hit a decent amount of the enemy's team. It's not worth to talk about Gardevoir. But I think Groudon is a good talking point here. Metagross specifically though here.
Yeah.
This is the Gardevoir killer, and it also deals with Dialga, Avalugg, Hydreigon, and even Shields, and the rest with
Oh
Shields
god.
and tag teaming. And I
It
on
does
my
both.
notes,
It forces shields on everything.
yeah, I can see this thing showing up a lot too.
Like,
Um,
that match is still hurt literally everything, or at least, like, a shield or hurt. No in between.
yeah. Let's see. Etar, Mr. Seven Weaknesses has a lot of 7 weaknesses here. There's only one target for bite and there's one for smackdown. So I don't
I
think we
don't
see this.
yeah, T-Tar's on the bench for sure because, like, Shadow Bite can mirror Dialga and the ones, but it's like, that's not really that great though, I feel.
If Oscar was matched up against who was it from earlier when this rotates? If Oscar gets matched up against 7, 8, 9, that T-Tar pays dividends.
Mhm.
But this T-Tar does not have
Yeah,
merit right now,
really, like,
unfortunately.
not it.
Zapdos. Zapdos doesn't have any targets here. And also probably gets picked off by a lot. So I think this one's gonna be
Zapdos?
a benchmark.
Uh,
Yeah.
because losing to literally everything except for, Mew and Gardevoir, and even then not really having to them is not good.
It's
Like,
not going to be consistent against Mew either because we don't know what's
oh,
running.
don't know what's running, but like even then, it's just not it. And I mean, we already put out SCAV, so like SCAV is obviously going to be massive versus his team.
SCAV is huge. SCAV is really big here. I think if I gotta make some calls here, it's gonna be some kind of combination between Palkia, Groudon, Metagross, and SCAV. I think we run double steal if we're Oscar.
I think it's the same because he only has the one guaranteed steal answer, and I mean Mew probably is a steal answer because I mean Mew, it's Mew. It needs to have something like it can tailor itself to the team. He does, Goku doesn't really have any steal answers here besides Lando, so the Mew is definitely some kind of steal answer.
We had similar because we stepped away from our notes for a second and we're like, all right, 1, 2, 3, what do we think Mew's running? And we're like, okay, Dragon Claw Flame Charge. Yes, that's it. That's probably what's happening. We have Flame Charge for
Maybe
Metagross and
Focus Blast could be like I mean Focus Blast I don't think is gonna happen. Thinking about it because Flame Charge just picks up so much more, like it does, like it hits everything neutral except for what's it called, Tyranitar and Palkia.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I think Flame Charge Shadow Claw is going to be fine against Metagross.
Yeah,
And could potentially ramp.
It gets the buff, it gets the farm. It's huge.
I think Mew is going to end up catering itself to be a steal answer specifically, owing to the amount of steals that are on Oscar's side. Looking at Dialga specifically, not as good as we would normally expect from the King of Master League here. It doesn't have it doesn't have as many valid targets that Gardevoir also doesn't manage.
Like, kind of like how I mean, insight for like how Dialga just really isn't that great in factions. Like, it's not great in the show 6 formats. I feel it's like doesn't have that like freedom of just coming in freely. Like it's coming. If people people have steals, people have fighters, it's not going to have that freedom.
Yeah. Let's see. Lando T. It checks Metagross, Titar, Zapdos, Escav, and Mudshot Groudon. So I think out of all 12 Mons in this matchup, I think this is the most important one. I've wrote down it's likely the most valuable Mon on both sides, and it's likely leading at least once, but it's probably going to come along every single time.
I feel like it needs to swap though.
Yeah, I think Dutch brings it, and I think Oscar builds against it. Is what's going to end up having to happen. Mew, interesting pick. We've already talked about it specifically, so I'll jump over it. Gardevoir, if it can avoid the steals, it can just tap through Palkia, Dragon Tail Groudon, Titar, and I don't know about Zapdos specifically.
Zapdos,
I don't know.
I think I don't know if it's a shadow or not, but like I think it taps through Zapdos if it has a shield.
It probably does, honestly. It's a fairly solid pick if you run 2 anti-steals in the back. So if you run Gardevoir, Lando, Mew.
Non-Shadow loses in the ones, but Shadow still loses in the ones.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Gardevoir has some value here. Avalugg, there's really only one target for Ice Fang, and Fangs in general need super effective damage to perform well. Yeah. So the fact that it doesn't have that many targets, I think it probably stays home. And Hydreigon here as well. The other dragon damagers on the other side are basically going to outpace with either damage or charge moves. And it looks like a big liability against SCAV, honestly. Zapdos also has a lot of other checks, so I think this one kind of stays home, so that way SCAV doesn't completely ruin everything.
So, like, I feel like we have a decent amount of things of what's staying home, what's coming to play here, which is...
which moves on Mew. Chat, if you want to guess a few things here, we can take some guesses for Mew's moveset, because the casters don't know them too.
This is all new to us. Like, we have no idea how these battles come out. So everything is, I mean, as you've probably seen by our reactions, we have no idea.
Yeah, and I think in light of the recent information specifically here, has your guess on what you think Mew is going to be running, has that changed at all, or do you think it's going to be the same?
I think it's still relatively going to be the same.
Okay,
like, we're still feeling that. I think that Flame Charge Shadow Claw is going to be huge.
Yeah. Old Greg raises the specific consideration for Surf.
I like Surf here. That's a point I didn't.
Let me take a look again. That's not bad.
That's not bad, but I mean, you're just so open to Palkia, though.
Yeah. I think it really depends on how much Oscar values Palkia specifically. Because Palkia,
Dialga.
Palkia is not that big of a threat overall, so I actually do think you could run Surf. Because I don't know how much Palkia comes along, honestly. But it could be interesting. My round winner here, my predicted one. So there's a few other things to bring up besides that before we jump into round one. The round winner, my prediction here. This one's exciting and has a lot of flexibility on both sides. I think Oscar's Escav is actually going to be a really big MVP,
I
and
agree.
Mew is going to have a lot of tipping play too. I think Dutch has a lot of outs, and I think he's probably going to end up stealing it last second. Once he can
Ooh,
adapt and learn how to play, I think Dutch actually wins this one.
I think Dutch could win this one, but I feel like that if it's just a matter of can he play around that SCAV? Like
Yeah.
if he plays around that SCAV and depending on that Mew's moveset, I feel like Goku could get that win, but like it's really totally up in the air, and I'm so excited to see how this goes.
Yeah. Let me see. So let's jump into round 1. And then there's a couple of things to bring up after round 1 as well, and then as well after round 4. But let's just go ahead and play into it. This is a really cool. This is one of the ones that I was actually talking about on Twitter specifically, where I was like, you guys are going to see Escav, you're going to see Latios, you're going to see Mew, you're going to see some cool stuff. And like 80% of what I was talking about is this game right here. This stuff looks cool. I'm ready for this. Inject it into my veins. Let's run it.
I need this.
All right.
Yes. All right. So we're getting Palkia into Lando here.
Palkia into Lando.
This is really bad for Goku.
This is aggressive, and it's Dragon. I like Breath over Tail here specifically, just because it is going to give you the. I know Tails when they sneak in are more impactful, but I think in light of the shorter duration charge moves, you're going to want that flexibility.
So he's going to superpower likely dip here into. So he's going into Mew. Okay.
And we do see Shadow Claw. Okay, straight Draco.
Is he? He's probably going to shield this. I feel.
We have to respect this.
Yeah, because it's a.
We do not respect it at all. Holy crap! Oh, that's Palkia double steal. Lamau, that's funny. I've seen this before. The only difference is the Escav is a not an Excadrill, but yeah, I've seen this team before. Yeah. Lots of time. Wow.
Comes in the Yaga. Oh my gosh.
This is kind of a yeah. I do like this from Oscar, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's not going to respect the charge move. That's interesting.
Yeah, Thunder makes sense here, honestly, at that specific timing. Yeah. So both players not shielding a big move.
That's fine. I think Oscar can still win this here because he goes in, gets the shield pressure, or gets the farm down, and he does really solid here.
Yeah, I think in 2 shield Escav and you're kind of cruising. Yeah, but we still have a Lando to worry about.
We still have and it's still glassy. The Escav is still super glassy here, so like even then it doesn't really want to be taking those dragon breaths. Like that damage is adding up
already. Yeah,
that's not looking like it's resistant whatsoever.
So how do we handle Lando at this point? I guess is my biggest question here, because I know that thing has a decent amount of energy. Shielding Thunder, pretty good. Lando comes back in.
So he goes right back in.
Are we no shielding this? No, we are. We have to. We need this tail.
Is it gonna be? What's it gonna be though? So we go superpower. Because that's gonna be more damage on those dragon breaths, and he has to shield. Oh no, he doesn't even make it.
Wait, this is kind of decent for Oscar. This thing's very heavily debuffed.
That he has to shield this if he wants to keep the win. If he wants to keep neutral, like he has to.
Wait, he can just farm.
Oh, you're right.
I think he can just farm.
He just
this thing's -2.
Mm-hmm.
And then just builds back to back and wins.
Yep. Wow.
Yep. 1, 2. I think he gets there. Oh no, he doesn't. He got scared.
Ooh, yeah. I think that cost him there. That cost him.
Oh, that's so unfortunate too. I think we had to try. I think it was super worth trying, because otherwise you guaranteed lose. The other route where, and I can't remember if that superpower was on a 5 cycle or not. If it was on the 5, I think you would have barely gotten there. But especially because it's -3. And then you have to come out of that with back-to-back drill runs. I think that's your only win con if you're Oscar. Unfortunately, the Escav looks good, but it ends up being a little bit glassier than we want it to be in that regard. It gets left a little bit too low to Dialga, and Dutch Goku is actually going to take game 1 here. We didn't see anything from Mew yet. We only saw Shadow Claw, which I'm 1 out of 3 right on that, and that it's running Shadow Claw. But we don't have enough information on anything else.
It came in and it died, but I mean, it still did what it needed to do. It still took all that from Palkia.
Yeah, we had to commit to the counter down on that one. I entirely agree that that's the win con though. It wouldn't make it. I think it's I think it's 5-4, 5-4, and I admittedly lost count a little bit there, getting lost in the sauce on the SCAV. So if it got there, it got there. I think that we did still have to commit there because the other route is the Dialga just farms us down.
Yeah.
So
Which neither are great options.
yeah, and SCAV is unfortunately a little squishy. But let's go and jump into game 2 and see if Oscar can redirect this specifically. Palkia double steal does seem pretty potent here. And Palkia might actually have some value, but we do leave Metagross.
Lando. Okay, this is not good for Oscar here.
Yeah, this is a little unfortunate because the Lando is just going to be able to go for one superpower and dip before the meteor mash even happens. But okay, never mind. Are we just eating it?
Right. All right, cool. So what's this? So is he going to shield this right away? I don't think he shields this because he wants to get the okay, he does. That's fine. That's big. That's still fine because that would have still done a ton of damage, and that doesn't know what's in the back still.
Is he just going back to back and dip?
Superpower doing that? That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, can't really much shot down after the debuff, unfortunately. So
he is going. He is. Wow.
Let's see. Okay, that works out fine. The T-Tar's here.
Ooh.
Okay.
Alrighty.
This thing's -2 though. We don't have to respect it at all. Okay. Yeah. Wow. The T-Tar's actually here.
Walk all over it.
Okay. And now the Lando's decently low and we have shield. Oh! Oh! Okay! Oh!
Hey.
All right. Okay.
What's it gonna be?
I don't think we respect move here. This might be Surf. This feels like Surf. Wow. Okay.
Open the server. All right.
And then we shield the next one and we come out with a move for wow. Okay. I really didn't think T-Tar was gonna show up. I'm happy to be wrong on everything.
Yeah.
Honestly. Okay. And it was Dragon Claw Surf. I had two.
We got 2 out of 3, not bad.
2 out of 3 is pretty good, especially for a Mew call.
Yeah. You're running so many different. See this.
I know. And now we have even shields. The T-Tar has a move. And the
nothing wants to eat that move.
Throwing now, yeah.
Yeah, this is either gonna hurt or it's gonna it's not gonna go out. It's not gonna go out calmly. Like it's gonna be taking some of that health.
Dialga's in the back.
There's Dialga. Oh,
this is yeah. I don't think the Palkia can pace here. I think Dutch's Dialga is actually gonna have some value here. Yeah. This is over. Well played. Very well played.
Super good games on both ends so far.
I do like that Oscar trapped in the Mew though. That was cool. Yeah, I like that.
I'd like to see that Shadow T-Tar play.
It didn't work out at the end there, but I did like getting to see the Mew bit down. And Dutch is going to take game 2 here. Chat, before we wrap things up today, I do want to ask chat specifically, what was your favorite set of the day so far? I know this one's not entirely over, but we've had 4 finished ones, and we're 2 games into this one. So I'd like to know what you guys have to think about that.
Yeah, like,
as we come into game 3.
Games. Like I think my favorite set was set 3 so far. Like just those close games are really nice. Like,
yeah.
On the watch on both sides.
Oh, it's back. It's back. I love it.
Okay. How does he go about that? Because he's going straight into Lando, straight into Palkia.
This is an interesting pivot. Dutch is really in a weird spot here.
So what's he? So he's just letting this go. Like that's fine because he can just.
Yeah.
So that's so much confirmation.
Okay, so yeah, no earthquake, which means that Metagross has a little bit of wiggle room there, and now we have. Okay, but the thing is this. My brain's completely fried here trying to process this because this Lando versus Palkia match is not going the way I'm thinking it should.
It's just because Palkia doesn't get that water fast move pressure. I feel that makes it not like as much as like it's a water. It just does water things. Like it's a dragon with a water move basically.
Yeah, it really doesn't. The Lando is just losing steam in this matchup. So it's worth it to let it go.
Yeah, but it's
we lose the T-Tar on the Mew though, which is.
What's his third mon going to be is the big question.
I don't know. We have to deal with an unknown Metagross on the back, honestly. Here,
yeah.
We haven't seen the latter of the 3 mons come out.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them deal with Metagross. I think Metagross is super valuable here. So probably, I think Dialga's back there
Yeah, I
again.
think it's definitely Dialga because I mean, like, unless it's a bite Hydreigon, which I don't think is happening because it's like doesn't really. I don't really think bite has so much play here, but like, let's see it.
Metagross coming in for some early farm and also
Like,
not having to shield Surf or Dragon Claw
dude,
right away.
it has no threat for the charge moves.
I
Like
kind of like
that.
this.
Yeah,
It's forcing it to dump, and then maybe T-Tar comes in as soon as
Mhm.
the Mew cashes out.
yeah, I think that's the case. Because it gets a little bit of energy and then it can just farm on this. Okay, so there's the Dialga. There's the Dialga.
And David brings up the point of T-Tar can win the ones versus Dialga as a
Yes,
shadow.
that is one of the
So,
things I also had in my notes for if this is because I didn't know if this is a shadow or not. So that is really big.
oh man. And these bites will add up. We do get to a crunch, especially if there's a debuff.
Like that debuff would be huge for Oscar.
Okay. Do we get it? We do not get it. That's
Ooh.
the one impactful moment we're gonna get here. And I believe the
He's gonna commit
Dialga
for the
is
farm.
barely.
Oh, he's committing for the farm.
Yeah, there was an HP differential there,
Oh,
unfortunately.
that is going to be that's
And
game.
that's a thunder. That's a thunder. Dutch able to take this 3-0 specifically. Wow.
Wow.
All
That was
right. And we have a game 4. We have a
yeah.
game 4 coming around here.
Let's
Dutch
see this.
is
Sure.
really proving the metal. I thought Dialga was kind of a
Same.
lame horse here specifically, but it's
Well,
actually showing still a
yeah,
lot of value. It is still the king of Master League.
we were proved wrong, and I love to hear it.
All right, good stuff. Let's jump into game 4 here specifically, but before we do, I think I wanted to review the last couple of games specifically, because I never mentioned my personal favorite, and I think I really liked the which one was it? I think I actually liked the first one because we got to see
That Genesis
Genesect
play
go to
was
town. I love that mon. It's a cool mon. So we got to see a
such
Lugia
a cool mod,
Genesect core.
both design wise and like both like gameplay wise. Like it's fun. Like I want to build one really badly, and I
But
can't wait to see that get that
the
chill.
close second for me goes to the Heater versus Blaze because that Shadow Suicune had some really cool play there. And then I got to see Mellowbite on Blaze's side too. So I'm gonna go with Series 1 and then Series what was that, 3?
Yeah,
4?
the Blaze is 4.
3.
Blaze is 4.
Yes. Series 1 and whichever one the Blaze one was. But yes, we have let's see if Dutch can clean off the entire plate. See if he's a member of the Clean Plate Club right now, eating all his veggies as we move into game 4 in the final series of the PoGoRaids Championship Division Draft.
All these games have either been ties or absolute sweep. So is Goku going to keep this tradition or not? So we get the Palkia into the Lando. Good lead for Oscar here.
Yeah, Dutch at this point is still proving that despite the fact that he's losing leads, he has the flexibility and the game sense to wiggle out of these, honestly.
Like I like that.
Which
Like
is
I like the
really
fact
impressive. It's a really impressive gameplay on Dutch's
he has
part.
a really flexible team. Like doesn't really have like it's got some bad answers, but like it does really well against a lot of things just because of that spam on both
Oh,
Lando, Mew, and Palkia and
oh,
Dialga.
absolutely. And Lando is still staying in. Lando is not afraid here at this point in time, recognizing that we save energy. All right, Dialga on Metagross,
That's not
still
bad.
largely fine. We have
Yeah.
Thunder,
We have Thunder.
and
Bring it low enough to farm some extra energy with Lando here.
look at all those Dragon Brats at that point too.
Mhm.
That's pretty good. But we whiff the bait.
Ooh, that is huge on Oscar.
Oh man, that's really unfortunate. But we do call the earthquake correctly.
Well,
But hold on, we don't get a farm down, do we?
I don't think we do. No, he has to throw here.
Oh, I was like, that's greedy.
Yeah, that
That's
would have been
greedy.
a little too greedy.
Yeah, I definitely do think Thunder is the play there, unfortunately. But he just asked for the Iron Head to save a little bit of energy. Recognize it does the job from there. Wow. And now we have T-Tar up a shield. This thing is building
Yeah.
so much. This thing is going to build so much energy. And there's no shields on the enemy side. And we catch a superpower.
Yep.
That's big. That's big. Palkia farm down? Question mark. Possibly happening. No, we're throwing. Okay. T-Tar is very close to a crunch. If that Mew came in the back again, I think Oscar might have found his groove in game 4. Let's see. Oh, but we still have the Dialga in it. No. No, yeah, we do. Dialga's still there. I don't know what it's doing. Okay, Mew's back. Mew's back, getting a bunch of energy. 3, 4, 5. Coming into a full farm down. This is fine. T-Tar's very close to crunch. It's a couple bites off, but we have a shield. We have a shield and it's okie dokie. And I don't remember how much energy the Dialga has, honestly. 6, 7. Kind of iffy.
This
8.
is it's gonna be close.
I don't think we can farm down, unfortunately.
Oh, he can't farm down here.
Oh,
man.
oh, holy, whoa!
That
Oh.
was
Yuck! I'm gonna throw
Wow.
up.
oh my
That was
God,
cool.
that was insane.
Okay, I'm glad I got the trash can right. I got a vomit after that. That was cool. That's some cool stuff right there.
That was beautiful.
Good stuff, Oscar. Wow, that was some really
Last
some
game.
really good play there. So Oscar
Wow.
saves a
Cool.
game and is able to go 1-3 versus Goku,
Man,
completely snatching that
that OT
away from him.
something
That was
else.
cool. That was really cool. What a way to finish that. And gang, that's I believe we're at the end of the road for
Yup.
today's Master League Championship draft division pairings. You can see the final results here on your screen. And I hope you guys had a wonderful time watching these fantastic games here. We also do have the round 1 pairs here specifically. We can see David and Stefan leading with the 4-0s here. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of these battlers in the future as they get different opponents going into the next weeks. And got some really cool matchups. We got some mons that didn't see a lot of play because they were bench warmers in some game. But you never know. They might actually turn out to be super prominent in later matchups too.
And like these games were such a thrill to commentate on too. Like they were all really close games, really well played on both sides.
I learned a bit too. Learned a bit about Shadow Suicune, learned a bit about Genesect. Fury Cutter's stupid fast for that. I've known Fury Cutter's fast, but I just
didn't know it was that fast in combination with like Technoblast and X.
Yeah, Fury Cutter with Technoblast is actually pretty dang fast.
Yeah, if only a higher stat product. I could see that thing being an absolute menace if it had like maybe a little extra attack.
Just a little bit more of the juice in each. In the main series game, it has a lot of speed, but as we've noticed, chat, speed isn't a factor in Pogo and doesn't play into the stat product the way that you would want it to, which is why slower, bulkier mons end up actually just having so much juice, like Gira A and Cresselia, and there's a lot of other slower mons that I could think of that are just pretty dang good because speed doesn't end up being a factor. That's an excellent segue, Pogo Ash. Where can we find these casters? Why don't you go ahead and give them your information first, and we can get that plugged into the chat by our lovely shoutcasting team here, or specifically production crew.
So also, who do you want to raid after?
That's a good question.
Twitch channels.
I don't really know who. Is there anyone online?
There's a few people. In terms of the people I'm following specifically, I can see Butters is online, Latin is online, and I think it's those two specifically. I would say me, but I'm not going live yet. I'm going live at 8 p.m. tonight, so okay, can't really wait around specifically that long. I think Butters is a fine play here.
I agree.
I'll let everybody else decide.
What's his channel name?
That is going to be 2O Butters. O as in the letter O, not 0. So it'd be 2O Butters, and that's where you can find Olivero, who is doing some stuff
on Twitter, but I'm going to start posting more and more Pogo content, more and more PvP stuff. So
gotcha.
To follow. I mean, this is my first time really on the big stage, so thank you all very much for the kind starts.
Yeah, I had a blast with you as a fellow caster too. It's always nice having other people that are proficient with Master League, and even still, there's like a good amount that I didn't know as well.
And I would love to do more Master League content with you in the future, if you are.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I definitely would.
Always around to stream or at least like talk Master League.
And then, gang, here's where you can find me in case you're not familiar with my stuff specifically. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Twitch under the same names specifically. I post I maybe do like 60% Pogo on Twitter, and then I do a mix of other stuff. And I stream 5 days a week, usually in the morning, Tuesday through Saturday on twitch.tv/Elodicolo.
I want to start
And
streaming too at some point.
streaming a lot of fun, as you can tell today, specifically being on the casting
I,
end. So
I need to get like a lot, like just a better setup in my store over some.
yeah, I can see that being a little difficult.
I don't have
So yeah,
Alright, we're gonna-
you can
the
pull the
story.
Beam 3X approach and just stream your laptop from your bed. I think. is
Yeah,
what he
that's.
does.
I mean, that's what I'm doing right now.
It works out fine for him.
Yep.
So, gang, I think we're gonna rate Butters in a little bit. Anything you want to say specifically here before we wrap things up and we head out?
I just thanks a ton everyone for support, and it was such a pleasure shoutcasting all these battles. Everyone here was awesome. All the games were awesome. I learned some amazing things, and I can't wait to use them in my Master League battles eventually at some point down the road.
Yeah, I was very excited to see a lot of these mons that I don't have built yet, and they look like so much fun for Spice. I'll be honest, this made me want to build a Latios. I don't
Same here.
think it's really that good otherwise, but like I'd like to get a Shundo Latios and build it because it looks funny. That's a funny
It
mod.
does look- And then that Mega Latios too.
Yeah. And I know with the megas around the corner specifically, there's a non-zero chance we'll get to raid those again in the future. So
Yep.
I will try to save aside a pretty penny for those. But we got to see some cool stuff. Maybe I'll build my Genesect at some point. Who knows? But yeah, we're gonna raid Butters, gang. Head on over to PoGoRaids Discord specifically. That's where they're doing all this stuff. As you can tell, the PoGoRaids PvP, they got Pogo, they got PoGoRaids, and they got Pogo PvP. Make sure to check them out. They're a pretty big spot. They invited me to be the guest caster for week 1. I'm sincerely flattered. I thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to share my time with you guys too. And hope you guys had a wonderful time today. Go show some love to Butters as we raid in here shortly. And as a friendly reminder, I will be streaming not on my channel specifically. I will be live with Concentrate Queen tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific. So that's in about 5 hours from now. We'll hope to catch you guys then as we do some Ultra Boo. But Masters where it's at. So yeah, go ahead and fire up the raid, and we'll see you guys later.
Have a nice one, guys.